Today, we're cutting through the spin and hitting at a very uncomfortable truth that is going to get me a lot of hate from a lot of people. Today, we're talking about the unyielding generational loyalty that black voters have given the Democrat Party for decades. For decades. For decades, it hasn't been about specific policies for us or about weighing out who offers a better vision for our communities. It's been more about a primal, like animalistic, historical fear and a strategy that's guaranteed our political irrelevance. This isn't about a nuanced debate or pragmatism. It doesn't matter what people who look like me try to lie and tell you. For us, it's always been about blind allegiance forged in a dark past that is still holding us hostage today. While we marched and bled for the right for a seat at the table, we literally gave away our votes to a party that takes them for granted. They expect for us to vote for them. And everybody knows that when you give your power away, guess what happens? You lose it. We need to take a very close look at the specific reasons that these voting practices have had a devastating impact and why our unwavering support for one particular party has allowed disastrous, paternalistic policies to remain unchallenged. You for the past several years, you've been hearing black people scream out, "Drain the swamp, drain the swamp." Did you know that Donald Trump invented that phrase, drain the swamp? As someone who invents something, I think it's your duty and your right to define whatever you invent actually is. But I heard black people, since the term was coined, screaming, "Drain the swamp, drain the swamp, drain the swamp." And we kind of understood the swamp to be the politicians that are corrupt, bureaucratic, and basically support and perpetuate policies that hurt our community. That's what I think you mean by when you say drain the swamp, right? You can include the pedos, everything else in there. But here's my biggest question. And if there's any question you need to ask yourself today, this is the question. Why are black people screaming, "Drain the swamp," when overwhelmingly for the past 60-something years, we've been supporting the swamp? There isn't a single policy that the Democrat Party and the rhino conservative Republicans have implemented. There isn't a single social issue that these people have championed and called on us to support them in that we have not jumped on board with without question. Whether it's the LGBTQ, the trans, the abortion destroying our damn communities, every single thing that the swamp has given us, black people have not only consumed it without question, but we have cleaned the plate. You're screaming, "Drain the swamp." You're pointing at who you think the swamp is. Oh, abortion is bad for the black community. Let's just use abortion for an example. You got all these so-called Pan-Africans and pro-blacks and FBAs, and they'll sit up here and tell you, "Man, abortion is bad. 60 million black babies aborted, yada, 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 yada." There's only one party in this country that sells and traffics abortion to black people as if it's the solution to our problems. There's only one party in this country that tells black people that their problem is having too many babies and there's not enough resources for all those black babies, while simultaneously flooding the black community with illegal criminal alien immigrants by the millions. So what they've done is convince you to abort millions and millions and millions upon millions of your children, saying there's just not enough to go around. Then they turn around and bring in millions upon millions of illegal grown-ass immigrants who literally put more strain on our economy than any young newborn baby ever could. And there was a time when I thought black people all understood that. There was a time when I thought we had got up on some hustling and some common understanding. And we was all like, nah, they the enemy because they want to annihilate our seeds, saying there's not enough for us, while they bring in another group of people in larger numbers than we even exist in this country. But then election time came. And I looked around at all my brothers and sisters and I was like, yeah, it's us, right? We all understand that the Democrats who tell our women to abort their black babies, especially if they're males, we all understand that they are all the enemy. We understand that they're against us. When it comes down to the main point, life or death, we understood that the Democrat Party was against black people because they encouraged us to choose death for our babies. We understood. I thought we understood that. We went to the voting booth. We went to the voting booth. And Kevin Hill, I hope you stay in here because I'll send the link for you to come up. We went to the voting booth and I looked around me and I said, I know that we ain't about to go in here and vote for these people who pushing our women up in abortion clinics. I said, I know we ain't about to go up in here and support these people who pulling abortion vans up to the DNC, encouraging our women to step inside. I know we are about to support these people who tell our women to go get on welfare because they don't need the black man no more, turning our women into feminists and LGBTQ activists and everything like that. I said, I know we're not about to go in here and support these people. And you know what we did? We went in and voted 90% for the swamp. There was one side that said, keep the baby. Keep the little black baby. There was another side that said, get rid of it. And we voted for the side that said, get rid of it by 90%. 90%. And you tell me that I'm on the wrong side of history? The nuclear black family. There's one side that said, damn the family, you don't need him. Just go on down to the welfare office and get you some of them food stamps. And we gonna give you some money. And you don't need them. Destroy your family. The family means nothing. Go out and be a whore and a slut. Go out and be a whoremonger of a man. Have kids in 50 different households and don't take care of none of them. There's one side that promoted that. We said drain the swamp and then went and voted for that side by 90%. See, black folks know what side is advocating and pushing the black community towards destruction. We both know. We both know. The other side that you say, it's two wings of the same bird. They if anything, they just don't give a damn about what's going on with you at the most. We don't care about what's going on with black folks. But I'm on the wrong side of history. No, it's not that I'm on the wrong side of history. It is that you love every demonic thing you claim to be against. You might love Iran, couldn't care less. You might love Israel, couldn't care about that. But while I throw support behind the group screaming, this is an illegal war, and that's an illegal arrest, if I think about myself, if I think about my community, I have to say, you know what? It might have been messed up that they shot Alex Preddy. It might have been messed up that they shot Renee Nicole Good. That might be messed up. But I know that the same person in the same group of people who are pretending to care about those two lives have zero problem with culling, that means killing, Black life by the millions. People will look at me and be like, how could you support? They bombing thousands of Iranians. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So I'm going to go against the group that's bombing and killing thousands of Iranians. And by the way, I'm not Iranian. In order to support the group that's killing millions of Black babies. I think thousands that look like me outweigh, I think millions that look like me outweighs thousands that look like somebody else. They call me a coon and you anti-Black and you all this stuff. I'm the coon. But if I get my way, thousands of IRGC Muslim terrorists in Iran die. If you get your way, millions of Black babies continue to die in abortion clinics all over the United States of America. Who's on the wrong side? I got people in my comments saying, you love white people. No, I love Black people. Because the way I vote and the way I run my politics, millions of Black babies will survive and live to have a future. The way you run your politics, millions of Black babies will be destroyed before they ever get a chance to leave the womb. There's no argument about it. You can't even argue it. Everyone knows what side supports the mass annihilation of African American babies. Every single flipping person. But then they'll play games on you and say, well, you're on the wrong side of history, or you support the swamp. No, it depends on what you define as the swamp. If the swamp is the side that blows up Iran, who is a society run by grown men who make their own decisions, and decide to go at it with America and Israel, then that's okay. That swamp ain't hurting me. But if the swamp is the side that goes and tells the Black woman, abort your child while it's still in the womb, we don't have enough resources, you can't afford that baby. Then that side turns around and puts an illegal immigrant up into a 5-star hotel with their kids for months and months and months and months, gives them $12,000 on a food stamp card and $20,000 in EBT. That's the swamp that's hurting me. Because I'm wondering why the little Black baby had to die because there's no resources. But then the illegal immigrant gets to walk right in the door and receive all the resources that we claim we didn't have. Black people have had decades of welfare state dependence, championed by democratic policies and politicians that didn't even lift us up. They destroyed the Black nuclear family by making marriage an economic liability and their father a redundant figure that they marketed to the Black woman as a threat. All the programs that they have gotten Black people dependent on did nothing more than ensure that generations of Black children would suffer from trauma and instability. It wasn't a compassionate effort. It was a systemic internal dismantling of the strongest societal pillar. That's who you're voting for. You tell me, Brandon, Trump bombing Iran means that who you voting for is evil. And I turn around and look at you as the fool you are and say, nah, the white man sitting up overseeing the destruction of the nuclear Black family with the assistance of Black women is the real monster. Because that affects me, that affects you, and that affects us. It's like you don't even know who your enemy is because the enemy that's destroying you is deciding for you who your enemy is going to be that day. I'm being real. And people, you got grown men. Look. They're telling me, look, you confused. Okay, look, since I'm so confused, y'all, I'm going to send them the link so they could come up here and tell me. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to let this dude going down. I'm going to let him come up, and I'm going to show you in real time. This is the only channel where this is going to happen. I'm going to show you in real time how these dudes can't even explain the decision, the side they're on. They don't operate to like shed light and give honesty. They only operate to filibuster and try to stop the people who are telling you the truth. I'm asking everybody to, and even people who are not black who are watching this, help us understand the reality, because a lot of us just can't see it. And no man can be a hero or a prophet in his own land. You support the side that doesn't want to bomb Iran. And you feel that makes you morally right. But the same side that doesn't want to bomb Iran, they want to destroy black life by the millions through abortion. Me, I support the side that does want to bomb Iran. They want to obliterate Iran and say liberate their people. That's what they say. But that side doesn't want to destroy black life by the million. As a matter of fact, that side has voted to remove abortion from many states within our union. And in those states, black women live there. And what that means is in those states, black women are unable to go into a clinic and destroy black life. That means black women are forced to operate in a responsible manner if they do not want to have children out of wedlock that they don't want. And if they don't want them, send them to the welfare. Somebody will get them. People love adopting little infant babies. My neighbor across the street, this Asian dude and his wife, they just adopted a little black kid. They'll take them if you don't want them. But I want to try to, and as you saw, the cowards, they don't come up. I put the link. I put the link, but the cowards don't come up. What's the point of listening to someone who has an opinion, but when it's time to express the opinion, explain the opinion, they can't. They refuse. They're cowards. Why? Because black people all know that what I'm saying is the truth. They've destroyed us on a fundamental level. They are the swamp. They are the enemy. You fight for the life of Iranian soldiers, terrorists, but you won't even fight for the life of the children within your own community. And not only do you not want to fight for the life of the children, you want to condemn me for doing it. You want to condemn me for making the decision, the tough decision that a man has been given the right or been blessed with the opportunity to make. You get mad at me because I make the decision unapologetically. You got these fools over on the Viral Way podcast, the podcast I used to be on, just dummies, straight up. MAGA, what did you guys get? You got a war, you got this? I got black life. That's what I got. I got black life. That's what I got. I got somebody who stood up and said, we ain't just going to let these women go up in here killing all these damn babies. Do you know that black people represent 50% of all abortions? Every other group, racial group in America combined only breaks even with the amount of abortions that black women are getting. We only represent 14% of the society, but we make up 50%, straight up and down, 50% of the abortions. We're killing our children. at an exponential rate while screaming, oh man, we don't want to be replaced. This is a fact. To whatever Tamkin, it's a fact. I will pay you. We probably around like 40. We probably like 42, 43%, but we damn near at 50. It's a disproportionate amount. It's a disproportionate amount. Do you know what that means? It means it's way too much when you consider when you consider our population. I'm going to type it in AI. What percentage of abortions do African Americans? And then the thing is, bro, I don't even take it too super serious when we talk about, okay, we make up 42.9% of abortions in the United States, but we only make up 14%. No, really 12% of the population. We only make up 12% of the population. This according to the CDC. You go look it up. I'm looking it up right now in real time. Why does 12% of the population make up 42% of the abortions? Oh, listen, you want to know who your enemy is? It's not hard at all. The only way this is hard is if you are your own enemy and you don't understand it. If you want to know who the swamp is and who your enemy is, simply identify the group that's telling you to kill your children. Simply identify the group that's telling you to annihilate your children as a sacrifice to the God of good time, having a good time. Because that's really why you're getting rid of them. You just want to get rid of them so you go to the club and you ain't got to find a babysitter. But you're telling me I'm the problem. Please, you sound stupid. But the reality is black people have always supported and defended the swamp. We vote for the group that's telling us to abort our children by 90%. Another thing we support is a group that has us continuing to support a institutionalized failed school system. We demand integration, but our votes support the very party that fights to keep school vouchers and school choice off the table for our children. By backing the teachers' unions at all costs like we do, we trap millions of black children in failing inner city schools, ensuring an educational underclass remains permanent. This is not a march towards the future. It's a commitment to our own continued intellectual enslavement. White kids go to private school. They choose what school they want to go to. They can pay to get an education. A lot of people tell me when I speak, they say, man, you speak so proper. I don't speak proper. When I was a kid, the city I live in, Long Beach, California, had a busing program, right? They would take little black kids and bus them to white schools. I went to a white school, Helen Keller Elementary. My whole class was white. It was me and like two other black kids. But guess what? I got a better education than the kids who was going down to Franklin Middle School, living up in the ghetto, fighting all damn day with Mexicans, bringing knives to school, because we had the ability to leave and go to another school. Now, the Democrat Party wants to get rid of that. Trump re-implemented school choice. Allow you to choose where your kid go to school. If you can get them there, they could go there. What do Democrats do? Fight it tooth and nail. Don't let those darkies up in our school. We want to keep them dumb. We want to keep them talking like Negroes from LA. Mumble rap is what I call it. But Trump tried to say, hey man, white folks get to go whatever school they want to. Why can't black people go to whatever school they want to? The side that tries to keep me from where I want to go, to me, that's the swamp. We applaud all this bullcrap pro-labor garbage and minimum wage policies. We need a $20 minimum wage. But in reality, all it does is it strangles small black-owned businesses that are really the engines of the black economy. This isn't protecting workers. It's a regulatory stranglehold that ensures that the only businesses that survive are the massive white-owned businesses, the massive corporations that you say are the enemy. Let's make us minimum wage. Well, you just ensured that the black-owned business can't expand because they cannot. Like, if they stay with only 10 employees, they don't got to pay the new minimum wage that's ridiculously high. But if they expand to have 50 employees, they now have to pay the minimum wage, and that now puts them out of business. By doing that, you keep the black-owned business from expanding to compete with the white, Mexican, Asian-owned business. And then you complain why you don't got no black representation in the upper echelon of corporate America. That's the swamp. In order to identify and fight the swamp, in order to fight an enemy, you have to be able to identify who's the enemy. Right now, as black people today, who is your enemy? The person who blow up Iran or the person who kill black babies in Planned Parenthood every day? I promise you. Go and look up the numbers on how many black babies are aborted. I bet you it's more numbers than who died in Iran every day. I promise you. Information is dangerous. African American babies are killed every day. Let that sink in. In 20 days of warfare, 10 American soldiers have died. But every day of this war, 1,100 black babies have been killed. Let's be real. 10 American soldiers die. Alex Preddy died, Renee Good died, y'all all in the streets tripping. But 1,100 African-American babies are killed every single day in abortion clinics. Y'all say nothing. How many Iranian, hold on, let me go back in Gemini, sorry. How many Iranian The Iranian Ministry of Health says that since the start of Operation Epic Fury, 1,500 Iranian citizens have died. Harana, these are their groups. So according to Iran, 1,500 Iranian citizens have died. 19,000 have been wounded, right? According to the United States and Israeli estimates, 6,000 Iranian citizens have died. So since the start of Epic Fury, right, that's about 25 days, black people have lost 3 times as many children. Just think about that. Guys, we're in a war, man. We're in a war that doesn't give a damn about your feelings. Since the start of the Epic Fury, black people have lost 3 times more children than Iranian citizens who have died, and they are currently being bombed out every single day. Let that sink into your brain and use it for something. I'm not making these numbers up. either. I could just share the screen. It don't matter. I don't know why this does this. It doesn't let me share the whole dang on thing. Let me stop sharing it. Because I want to share the Gemini side too. So I think I have to share it as a window. Let me make this its own window. Okay, there we go. All right. There you go. Here's the numbers right here. They're right in front of your face. Let it sink in, y'all. You got black people, 100 fertilized eggs. That's life. That's life right there. That's a fetus. But what I'm telling you is, if you really think about the facts, like I do, I look at things holistically. A lot of people don't have the ability to do that. I do that. I do that without even trying. You complaining and crying about 161 Iranian girls. Whole time I'm thinking the Democrats then just encouraged us to kill 1,100 black babies the same day. And then the day before that, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. Just do the math. If we kill 1,100 black children a day, and then you times that by 365 days, how many children is that, y'all? I don't even understand what you're talking about. I'm a pervert who sees women as objects. No, I'm a man who sees children as like a life that deserves to live. I would save both. But if I had one infant to save, I would save the 100 fertilized fetuses. What do you mean? That's going to produce 100 infants.
Okay.
You
said you wanted me in.
I'll let you talk. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
I can't sit back and just listen to. Where is there proof that any political party has said you have to go into this abortion clinic and have an abortion? Democrats allow for the option for a woman to decide. Again, I said, I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I myself personally have had an abortion because I have kids. I have my own kids, and I decided I had enough kids and one more would be too much.
Why didn't you decide that before you had unprotected sex?
Interestingly enough, I was planning on freezing eggs so that if I wanted to have kids in the future, I could have more kids, but I wasn't.
That's irrelevant to the question or what you did.
No, Brandon, interrupting is obviously something that you do. I was choosing to fertilize eggs to potentially have a child in the future. And nobody said, hey, while you're doing this, while you're taking these meds, don't use protection, because most people are going to a fertility clinic because they can't have kids. I was going because I wanted to be able to make that decision later and not have to worry about it because of my age, but I wasn't sure that I wanted more kids. I don't believe in God. I don't subscribe to any religion. So I'm not looking at this as like a moral or ethical decision. Like, it's not unethical, in my opinion, to decide not to continue a pregnancy because, as I said in the comments, 1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage. God, if he exists, is the largest abortionist of any person, of any color. So if it's more black babies that are dying, I mean, statistically, it's even across all peoples of all different colors, right? God doesn't discriminate. He's just killing babies. If he decides to kill them, 1 in 4 pregnancies ends in miscarriage.
Okay, you don't believe in God, but then you bring up God. And if God...
Because clearly God is something that matters to you.
We're not interrupting. That's what you said. That was your rules. If God gives the life, so he has the right to take the life. You have the power to give a life, but you also have the science to interrupt the process of creating life. So in the event that so in the event that so that there is not an unwanted pregnancy, you chose to not utilize the science that you have that would have prevented the pregnancy outright, and then destroy the child in your womb just because you chose to be careless. I'm married too. I have children too. Me and my wife aren't trying to have a child right now, so she went and got an IUD stuck in her so she wouldn't produce children, and then we got to go down to the clinic and not and eradicate them.
Brandon, there are certain
You're
instances.
irresponsible. That's what that means.
No, there are certain instances where people cannot use birth control.
We're not talking about people. We're talking about you.
Yeah, me specifically.
You can't use a condom? There's a million types of birth control. Stop with that.
I cannot use a condom because I don't have a penis.
You cannot make your husband you can use a diaphragm.
Brandon, not everyone.
Here we
People
go.
have allergies to latex. One.
Ma'am, your husband could get a vasectomy.
And he did.
You could take the birth control pill.
No, you can't. I have a rare condition that predisposes me to clots, so I cannot.
Okay, you can get a loop. You could get the ring inserted in your.
And you're not thinking in terms of a woman. You're thinking in terms of a man. And
ma'am, a man cannot take there's a shot you can get
which causes brain tumors.
Okay, there's a million types of birth control. Even getting an abortion could cause blood clots, because my sister got an abortion and got blood clots all through her body.
Why do you think that is, Brandon?
Because she shouldn't have been aborting babies.
No.
Because she chose to have unprotected sex.
Pregnancy is a hypercoagulable state, meaning that you have more blood volume and you're at a higher risk for blood clots, period. It is more dangerous to carry a pregnancy to term than it is to have an abortion.
This is a lie.
This is not a lie. I'm a clinician. I know.
Ma'am, you sat up and said you don't believe in God, then called God the greatest abortionist of all time.
You didn't read my comment. I said, if he exists, he is the greatest abortionist.
You, like my sister, when she was 15 years old, chose to have unprotected sex. You say that you fear pregnancy, but you were literally trying to get pregnant. Your words. You also have other children, so that means you have no problem carrying children to term. You are bringing up a bunch of things that do not apply to you as reasons for you slaughtering your baby in the womb.
Well, it doesn't matter because my baby wasn't black, right?
And it makes it extra. Yep, it doesn't matter. So that's the whole thing. But people like you teach black women to have your murderous mindset. And
no,
then
I'm not
say
teaching
the problem
to be like me or to
you're worse than any black man on earth. Because if a black man hits a black woman, you'll say he's a monster. But if you train a black woman to kill millions of black children, oh, you're innocent. You're trying to help them. You guys tell black women you're helping them. But the reality is you're murderous, and you probably get off on teaching them to murder their children in the womb. I'm
sorry, but it's not murder. It's not.
Yes, it is.
If it were murder, then nobody would believe in God, right? Because he takes 1/4 of the babies from every person that's ever pregnant. 1/4, and it's miscarriage.
It's God's fault that you have a miscarriage, but we're not even going to ask what is this woman doing while she's carrying a baby that could possibly lead to a miscarriage.
Why is it that men always have to blame women when something goes wrong with a pregnancy?
Never blamed women.
It's a clump of cells that is growing into a human.
It's not a clump of cells.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's a baby. It has a heart. The heart is beating. When my daughter was tiny like a seed. My daughter was tiny like a seed. They put the ultrasound to my wife's belly, and boom, boom, boom. I said, "What the hell is that?" She said, "That's the heartbeat." I said, "Whoa, that little seed has a heartbeat?" The lady said to my face, "It's because it's alive." That was at Kaiser, 2009.
Yeah, so alive that if you took it out of the body right then and there, it wouldn't be alive. What is the age of viability for a fetus?
Fetus is viable from the moment of conception.
No. Yes. It's not viable on its own outside of the mother until 22 weeks. And that is like very,
outside of the mother.
Correct.
baby,
It is a parasite.
it's a symbiotic relationship, which is not a parasite.
It's a parasitic
No,
relationship.
no, it's not. It's a
What
symbiotic.
does the mother get from
You don't
the
even know the
child?
definition of symbiotic, so you call it a parasite. That's the difference. You're a clinician, but you don't even know the difference between symbiotic and parasitic.
What does the mother get from the child?
The mother sustains the child.
That's parasitic.
That's not parasitic. Because if it was parasitic, a parasite can leave the body and go to another host and survive just fine. A baby can't do that. You can't detach a baby in the womb, throw it in another womb, and it survives. You can't do that.
But a symbiotic relationship is mutually beneficial versus
No.
one way. The mother
All right,
is
man.
growing the fetus. The mother's nutrients are feeding the fetus. The fetus is not giving something back to the mother.
Wait. If it's not alive, how's it getting fed?
It's getting fed through the placenta and the umbilical cord.
But if it's not alive, why does it
What
need
did Helen
anything from the
Keller
mother?
teach you?
You just said that the baby is just a clump of cells that's not alive. Then you said that the mother is feeding the baby. Then you said that the baby is feeding through the placenta. What object that's not alive needs to be fed?
Viruses. They
What?
utilize
That's living.
the cells to be able to do
Viruses
that.
are living.
Not alive.
Viruses are alive. What are you talking
Not
about?
outside of the human body.
I didn't say that.
a
But viruses
fetus
are.
is not alive outside
But
of the
viruses are in fact alive. Now show me an object that is not alive, that is inanimate, that needs to be fed.
Would you consider a plant alive?
A plant is a life form. It breathes and feeds.
No, I'm sorry, but your argument is ridiculous. And
What?
I think
This is third grade science, lady.
no, it is not.
A plant is not
symbiotic
alive.
relationship is mutually beneficial. A parasitic relationship is where one feeds off of the other. A baby does not provide something to its mother. The mother only provides to the baby so that the baby can grow to an age of viability outside of the mother. And until a man can grow a fetus and push it out of a hole that it shouldn't fit out of, I don't think they really get to say whether or not a woman can have that choice. And that choice should be available. Nobody is pushing somebody to an abortion clinic. Democrats are saying, yes, you have the option for it. And Republicans are creating a socioeconomic situation where people are forced to make that decision.
All right, we went past you to AI, to science, because you clearly ain't working with a full deck. Clearly says right here, yes, a pregnancy is a complex biological symbiotic relationship, especially a form of mutualism known as a maternal fetal unit. While the fetus depends on the mother for nutrition and oxygen, they reciprocally influence each other's physiology, metabolism, and immunity for mutual survival, making it a co-organized, cooperative system. Before medical science, if the baby died, the mother died. You're wrong.
No,
You're
that's
1000%
absolutely not
wrong.
true, because then the mom would die every time there's a miscarriage, Brandon.
You said what?
If the baby died, then the mother also died. The mom would die every time there's a miscarriage. Because what do you think a miscarriage is?
There's medical science to prevent that from happening. Or else they would still be dying from miscarriages. You don't know what you're talking about. And the sad part is you've built up this opinion on slaughtering your children and encouraging people to slaughter theirs based on just a lack of basic knowledge.
Brandon, but what I need to understand here is you think that if a woman had a miscarriage at 7 weeks back in the 1900s, they died.
There was a chance she could get an infection and die. What are you talking about? My wife got an infection from after birth from my daughter, and she almost died. Thank God I told her, get up now, we're going to the hospital. And they were like, yeah, you had an infection. So what are you talking about? See, you guys do these things because you've been brainwashed. And it's a coping mechanism. You wanted to have sex, you wanted to get raw dick, but you didn't want the results of it. You want to arbitrarily choose when to take a life. You're basically a sociopath and a murderer. That's all I'm saying. Like, clump of cells.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You had dropped off, but I put you back.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I appreciate your bravery.
Wow, that was
most
really
people
painful.
Most people don't like to tell people that they're crazy. But you got up here and you were like, shit, I'm fucked up. So, damn, I'm glad you kept the ones you kept, though. I don't know. If my daughter was saying some shit like that, I'd be so pissed off. Like, don't ever devalue life like that. Life is valuable. But yet, and still, you're probably one of the people, justice for Palestine and all this crap. Care about those lives, but don't care about the life. That's why I know that this whole liberal stuff is just fake, man. It's just fake. It's fake outrage, toxic empathy. Oh, she was talking to somebody. She probably about to go do something right now. Anyway, yeah, y'all. But just so you guys can see, I'm not just someone up here, he loves the white man. Nah, man, I realize that white folks, a lot of this shit is because of them. But a lot of this shit is on us because we're choosing to follow them. I get that. We live in 2026. I don't have to follow them. Maybe during slavery, I could have been like, you know what? Days never finish. Master got us be working. I get that. But we ain't there no more. We're not there anymore. And I'm not going to sit up and pretend I'm there and jump in the supersonic Negro time machine to take myself back there to excuse everything I do. F that. F that. But every single thing that the true swamp and the creatures that dwell within have sold black people for one reason or another, we've decided to buy into it. I don't know why we do that, but I know it's something that we do. But I know this lady didn't try to listen, man. I was in attendance during the third grade every day. I learned with a T on the end. I learned. You can't tell me about some third grade science. I know about some third grade science. But that's what the enemy does. The enemy says, what you know, you don't really know what you think you know. Let me tell you what you know. And that's when they sell you the bull. That's how they sell you the bull junk. And you buy into it. And then when the black men like myself come in and we ain't buying that. You know what they do? They demonize us. Oh, girl, he the enemy. He just want to control you. No, I don't want to control you. I would like for you not to slaughter black children by the millions every year. Please don't do that. That's it. It's a small request. It's a small request. Please stop deciding. Please stop making kids punishing them for your bad decisions. They didn't ask to be brought here. They didn't enjoy the funny feeling, the good feeling that you got when you was busting it open. They didn't get to enjoy none of that. So why they got to pay the price when it don't work out the way you want it to? But I'm going to play you what I say about us and buying into everything white folks ever told us to do and buying into everything that the swamp sells to us. I mean it. And I'm going to play you a little clip that proves it.
Can men get pregnant?
Depends.
These black folks.
I know.
What does it depend on?
I know trans men that can get pregnant.
That means it's a woman. Only one sex can get pregnant.
That's a circular argument. That's
it's not a circular argument.
Yeah.
It's proving my thing. There is a truth, a concrete truth. You have to be born with a uterus to have a baby. Only women can get pregnant. The fact that we've arrived in a society where
that's the part I'm disagreeing with. That's the part I'm disagreeing with.
A man can have a kid.
How?
Transgender. Your gender changes. You can have a kid. Google. Get out of my face.
They got us. We gone. The dudes bombing Iran is the swamp. But this ain't.
Georgia is a gay church. Every church in Atlanta, Georgia is a gay church. Every last one. I said what I said, and I'm not taking it back.
You are the reason why I'm singing Jehovah. You are the most high God. Jehovah. You are Jehovah. You are.
At 23, I came out as a transgender woman. Being black and trans is an experience that can be terrifying yet so enriching. Who are you?
That makeup is terrible. But this is what I'm saying. We sit up talking about drain the swamp and the Epstein files. We are the Epstein files as a community. Look at this shit. If you put all this in a file and released it, people are like, what the hell is this? We screaming the Epstein files, and as soon as somebody go to jail over the Epstein files, we about to run out and do everything that was in the Epstein files, bruh. You don't even know what the swamp is, but you screaming, drain the swamp. You went from draining the swamp, but draining the swamp means draining yourself. Because the black community for the past 70 years has been right in the swamp skinny dipping, bro. Right up in that John. Please stop. Please stop. You want to know who's taking a step out the swamp? People like me. But it's hard because when you take a step out the swamp, you get ridiculed. We like Ariel on The Little Mermaid. We just want to go up on land. I want to go where the people are. Why you want to go out there? You guys are little crustaceans and shit. Mad because we want to go up to the land and go get fucked by Prince Charming or whatever his name was. You freaking, this is what I'm saying. So, like, I know I got to teach people my perspective because they don't understand it. But this is my perspective. Why has this female got her shirt off trying to pretend like she's a nigga in this video?
Man, I be that pretty motherfucker, man.
Listen, you ain't gonna believe this one.
Man,
my name is Q. I am a black transgender man, a Muslim, a husband and a father. She then did the trifecta of ignorance. She's not only she is not only a trans man, she's a Muslim. And somehow she thinks she's somebody's husband and somebody's father.
I be that pretty motherfucker, man. Who are you?
If you pregnant right now, get an abortion. Hold up, let me cook.
Who are you?
If you pregnant right now, get an abortion. Hold up, let me cook. Get an abortion. Or take a morning after pill, do whatever you got to do. Why? Because he not going to take care of that baby. He going to leave you hanging and he ain't going to pay child support.
Y'all got a friend that will have an abortion, bitch, in a quick second. She do not play with these niggas. She do not play that. This bitch done killed about 5-6 kids. No cap. For real. That bitch got a pussy full of a cemetery pussy. One time, he was about to be her baby daddy, girl. She called him one night. He ain't answer. She said, oh, yeah, I'm getting rid of this baby, bitch. The next day, she was popping the motherfucking pills back and got rid of that baby. She did not play that shit. He was so mad and so hurt.
Bruh, I'm not making this up. Black folks right up in the swamp talking about some drain the swamp. We right back up in the swamp. We right in the swamp, and if you dare speak against the swamp, we gonna jump on you. And the people who support it, they don't make no damn sense. Did you just hear the lady who got up here? She was cooked in literally just a few seconds. No, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I don't sit up and study abortion on a daily basis, but even I went to the first grade. She done made a decision about life without even a comprehension of third grade science. Let that sink in. You don't even have a comprehension of third grade science, and you think you qualified to decide to take a life. Like, I'm doing this inside of my head. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's giving me a headache. But, dude, that's how freaking crazy this is. The third grade. This is, it's enough to just drive you crazy. But I'm on the wrong, on the wrong side of history. And then somebody told me, oh, you don't understand. Here, listen, you're not wrong in some senses, but no political party has your best interest at heart. Listen, bro, I ain't never got up here and said, y'all, now the Republicans got our best interest at heart. I ain't never said that. I've never said that. I said, look at what each side is advocating and decide what is in your own best interest. And maybe if you make a plan, you can go work with one of those parties to help and they'll help you reach that goal if you give them something in return. Do you think I'm stupid? But do you realize that there are other groups all around the country doing exactly what I'm asking you guys to do, and they are doing it with great success? How do you think all these Indians is getting over here and all up on stage in the presidency and shit, and all of very, very like untalented people? Maybe the most talented Indian I've ever seen is Vivek Ramaswamy. The rest of them are just average Joes, bro. They suck. Nikki Haley sucks. You go on down the line. They're not particularly remarkable individuals, in my opinion. Even Sanjay Gupta is, I think, overrated. I saw a little black kid that's like 6 years old schooling the shit out of bro. But how do they get where they get? Because they go work with whoever's in power to get what they want. The Jews overwhelmingly voted against Trump. I don't even know if y'all remember that. But as soon as bro got elected, they went and worked with bro to get what they want. Black people like, well, if a Democrat didn't get elected, guess we gonna get nothing for the next 4 years. Well, what we gonna get if the Democrat get elected? We still gonna get nothing. Because they don't give us nothing. I have black women in the audience. You're wrong. You're wrong. The white lady was brave enough to jump her ass up here. That was cool. I give her much respect for that. Shout out to my brother, the Jughead, all the way from the UK in the billing. I don't know why this didn't pop up. Oh, here we go. Let me see if I can get it. So my brother said, Brandon, thank you for standing up for manhood and parenthood. Abortion is black genocide. Abortion is the reason African Americans, FBA, are only 13% of the U.S. population instead of the 40 to 45% you should be. 1,000%, my brother. We would have, this bitch would be looking like Africa if we stop aborting our kids, bro. This hoe would be looking like Africa. It'll be fucked up, but it'll be looking like Africa, though. But we have been we've been sold this idea that like killing our kids is cool. And it's so funny. It's so crazy because the people telling us to kill our kids, because there's no resources and all that shit, they're bringing other people from other countries into the country by the millions. They told you they couldn't afford to give you reparations, then turned around and gave billions with a B to illegal immigrants who then got sent right back home. But that's the side. That's good. And then, you know what's funny? We got the brother who was in there like, no political party has your best interest at heart. That's true. So why is black folks voting for Democrats at 90%? That's my biggest question. If no political party has black folks' best interests at heart, why are black people voting Democrat at 90%, as if the Democrats have our best interest at heart? I don't believe you. FRNFO, I don't believe you. I don't believe that all anyone gets is hope. I believe that all anyone gets in an election is what they ask for. And black people ask for nothing. Black folks ask. Look, I'm black. Ask for nothing. Stop saying shit just because it's the company line. Stop regurgitating talking points. Stop saying stuff to make you feel better about the fact that you ain't getting shit. It ain't all anyone gets. The Mexicans wanted the immigrants in here. And so Turla, LULAC, and you can name a list of these Latino rights organizations, gave the Democrats billions so that they would turn the other way. They would look the other way while all those illegal immigrants flooded the country. I'm in LA. I know. All those Latino advocacy groups literally gave these politicians billions so that they could let millions of their kinfolk into this country. Because they understand we could just take back America through illegal immigration. They know what to do. They feel like this is their land, and they are now they are now using our laws against us. Or not even our laws, because the laws say you put them out. They're using our own corruption against us to take the country from us. Why else would you let 20 million illegal immigrants into the country? And then when you let them in, they're not even like the best the world has to offer. They're like for real immigrants, can't speak English. What do you mean no one's getting what they want? They're getting everything they want. And you're getting nothing because you're not asking for anything. You're not even trying to go work with anybody to get it. Do I believe Trump will work with black folks to give them some things they want? I know he will. Because he worked with Kim Kardashian, he worked with Tim Scott, he worked with Ben Carson to implement all types of stuff that black people didn't give a fuck about. You were celebrating the First Step Act for 5 minutes. He permanently funded HBCUs. You don't give a damn. Because if you acknowledge it, you can't say, nobody don't get nothing but hope every election. Because that make you feel good. That's stupid. I meant to write African-American FBA. Keep fighting the good fight, Brandon. Degeneracy and the lack of discipline are bigger threats to us than white supremacy. Bro, Jeff from the UK, bruh. Thank you so much, bruh. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. You ain't came up in a minute. We gonna get up on another show. But this is what I'm saying. Going down, is this lady who I came up? You want babies to be born. Those who have the money need to be taxed appropriately, and those taxes can't go towards bombs. Listen, man, the wealthy pay the most taxes in this country, by far. Wealthy individuals pay like 70% of the taxes in this country. Please shut up. The money being spent on bombs is their money. And guess what? They're going to probably benefit the most from the oil that's being collected. That's what I think a lot of our people don't grasp. The wars are funded by the rich, by the super wealthy. And so when the super wealthy fund the war, the super wealthy want a way to get their money back. That's why you see the stuff that happened with the Trump insider trading thing. Do you think it was insider trading? I'm pretty damn sure it was. But I understand what's going on because all those people who donate and they pay taxes, who give the government enough money to buy in bombs and shit, they want some recoup. And so somebody might throw out a damn insider trading tip to them and then they make a couple billion back. I get that. But why are people who probably don't even pay no taxes screaming about, oh my God, oh, look how much tax money. You wasn't screaming when Biden was giving away all that damn money to Ukraine? And we didn't get shit for that. All that did was make a bunch of Ukrainian oligarchs rich. Y'all need to just trust the leadership, man. Like, this ain't a Biden situation where somebody got the little joystick and they controlling what the motherfucker do. He out there like he got cerebral palsy or something. Now it's about taxes and shit. Bro, I'm telling you, you have to know how to identify the swamp to fight against the swamp. But you can't sit up and say you fight in the swamp when you literally been supporting the swamp for decades. You can't do that. You can't do that. First, you got to figure out how to get out of the swamp. The Bible say first clean the inside of the cup and then the outside will also become clean. Maybe first you need to clean the inside of yourself. Get all that demonic thinking up out of your own mind. And then maybe the outside, the exterior of the country will begin to match what you think you want to believe, what you think you want it to look like. I got women up here talking about a baby ain't nothing but a clump of cells. A baby ain't nothing but a clump of cells. That's what she said, right? You know what's funny about this lady? The lady said a baby ain't nothing but a clump of cells. But did y'all know cells are alive? Did you guys know that? We taking y'all back to the 3rd grade on this channel. Did you know cells are alive? Cells are the smallest and most basic unit of life. Are cells alive? Yes. Cells are the smallest and most basic unit of life. They are the fundamental building block of all living organisms. From simple single-celled bacteria to complex multicellular humans. That's literally what a human is, a clump of cells. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Yoshi, you ain't lying, because they be wiggling around up in the semen. She was like, a baby ain't nothing but a clump of cells. Fool, you ain't nothing but a clump of cells. Why your clump of cells more valuable than that clump of cells? Get the hell out of here, man. When those little girls died over in Iran, you know, I felt bad about that. I even talked about it on my channel, and I said, we grieve the loss of those little girls, man. I don't like anybody really losing life. But sometimes, you know, the reward outweighs the risk, or like, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But I don't see any reason why a woman needs to walk up in an abortion clinic and eradicate a baby. Now, if you say, yeah, in the event of rape or something, okay, I get it. Emotional trauma. But is aborting a baby really going to stop the emotional trauma? Probably not. Probably not. But guys, this is wild. This is wild. You don't even care about your body. I do care about my body. Hey, y'all can't see I'm getting thinner. I was wide as hell. I was almost this whole screen. My ass was like, bro, I was getting, whoo. So I've been working out, man. I have been eating. That's the biggest thing. I've been on the low carb, man. I've been eating like a banana. I'm actually about to go make some oatmeal because I haven't had a chance to eat anything. I'm going to eat an oatmeal and a banana and some egg whites for dinner. I've been on it. Y'all, look, hold me accountable. My fat butt need to lose weight. I've been losing. I'm getting thin. I was all swole up in the neck and shit. I can see my neck again. You know, like, you guys are right. Let's hold each other accountable. I'm cool with it. Let's hold each other accountable. I'm okay with that. All my day one people who've been on this channel for a long time, I have no problem with accountability, bro. What if y'all criticize me? If y'all criticize me, what's the worst that could happen? I lose weight and don't die from a heart attack in 5 years? You're sorry for me? What the hell are you talking about, Yoshi? Shut up, dude. But I've been, you know, what abouts and what ifs? What up, G? Man, I've been really trying, man, because I ain't gonna lie, when I was on No Jumper, my ass was fat as hell. I was just eating this. I got fat from going to No Jumper because all my little favorite little eating spots, a lot of them is right there in downtown LA, and you got to cross downtown LA to get to No Jumper. And so, like, in the traffic, real bad. Whoa, the worst traffic in the world. So when I would be leaving No Jumper, it'll be work time. It'd be like 4 p.m. That is like gridlock. So I would just drive to downtown LA because it's like you could get to downtown LA relatively quickly. It's about 10 miles down the road, take you about 45 minutes. So I would drive for like 45 minutes to get to downtown LA. I would pull off the road and go and have me a nice little Chinese meal and then go get me a little coffee with cream and sugar from the little Japanese coffee spot. I was just carb loading, dude. And I found the Chinese place that they use on the Chinese place that they had on Rush Hour, the movie Rush Hour. I found that place, and I started eating there, and the food was actually fire. And I was doing it too much. I was over there doing too much. So I blew up. I was like a fucking blimp. But now, no, yo, it ain't get killed. No, we are on the path to enlightenment. We're gonna lose this weight. Okay? Guys, we got some daily news to cover. Do you guys want to cover the daily news, or do you think I should just end it right here? You guys tell me. Because I noticed once we hit an hour, we get a little drop off. Should we cover the news, or should we just end it? So what's your end goal, Brandon? You got a lot of speaking points and opinions, but what you doing to change the things? You're again, man, listen, man, my politicians got their money. And my end goal is just moving to Africa. Get my baby to college, which she gonna go. You know what's crazy? My daughter was talking to a college coach this morning when I woke up. I said, wow. I said, what you talking? Who you talking to? She was like, I'm talking to the coach from this college. I said, he calling you. Okay, word. I'm happy. As a dad, you got, oh boy, her college money is buying me a new Porsche. The less I got to spend on her college, the more I can spend on me a new car. I promise you. All right, guys, we got our $5 challenge up there. My brother from the UK definitely blessed us, but we had like the other day where we didn't even get no contributions, and it was like a 3-hour show. So I appreciate if y'all contribute. There's Cash App, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal available, pinned to the top of the chat, I believe. It's up there. And also we have Super Chat feature. We can get into this daily news. There's a lot of stuff to discuss, and I'm really trying to get a sweet spot on how to talk about all this stuff so I can do some content or clip farming when I'm done with this situation, with these live streams. And I'm thinking that X might be a better source for our videos than YouTube, because I'm noticing when I do it through X, I don't get all that blurring. The choppiness is not there. Now when y'all about to see all my business, I clicked X, they talking about your payment failed. Like, what? What payment? I don't even know what payment I'm making on X. Man, I'm telling you, our people, we still, I feel like we waking up to a lot of this stuff, man. I feel like we waking up to a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of confusion. And what I would say about the world now, I think the world is like under a spirit of confusion. I mean, I see this situation in Iran, and I'm just kind of like, man, it's like everybody want to switch sides off of fake outrage. Everybody wants to switch sides for fake outrage. Hey, these Iranian dudes is wild, bro. They still talking shit. I give them credit. They will shit talk you down. I thought black folks would shit talk you. But there was one thing, I don't really need a clip for this, but you know, a lot of people have been talking about the situation with the Strait of Hormuz, and they're like, yeah, Iran won because they closed down. Let me restart my camera real quick. A lot of people are like, oh, Iran won because the Strait of Hormuz, they shut it down. Guys, if you really just use common sense, Iran didn't shut down no damn Strait of Hormuz. There's been oil moving through the Strait of Hormuz ever since they said they were going to shut it down. The markets go based on speculation. When Iran said we're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, the markets react to that because they have to react to it in case Iran actually does that. Just like when Trump said, oh, we're negotiating with Iran and negotiations are going real good. What happened to the market? They jump back up. They respond to, they operate based on speculation. So when you guys saw the market kind of like the prices jump after Iran said that they were going to close the Strait of Hormuz, that was just reactionary. That doesn't mean that the strait actually got closed. My boy is a merchant marine. He was on a ship going right through there. My boy, I'm not going to say his name, but he was on a ship going right through there. And we was on Facebook talking, so if you want to go look for it, I was like, hey, and I said his name, go through the post. I said, hey, I said his name. Tell everybody how oil's still going through the Strait of Hormuz, even though Iran said it's closed. And he said it is. He said just not American and Israeli. Here's the issue. America don't move no oil through the Strait of Hormuz. We was getting like 1% or less of our oil through the Strait of Hormuz. So ultimately, if they were to try to block American ships from getting through, guess what? There would be a small adjustment that needs to be made, and America would still be right on track. Closing the strait does not hurt America in any way. Who closing the strait hurts is China. China and India. That's why in India right now, they over there fighting over gas. They are squabbing over gas because it's hurting them. That don't hurt us. So when y'all like Iran won because they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, that ain't a win. They just and if you see what's going on, who does that hurt? That hurts Iran. Because think about it. I want y'all to think about this logically. If you shut down the Strait of Hormuz and India can't get oil, do you think that that's going to make India mad at the United States? Or do you think that's going to make India mad at the country who shut down the Strait of Hormuz? It's going to make them mad at Iran. They going to say, y'all got beat down. And now y'all trying to hurt us because y'all can't beat America. That's how that works. Don't nobody blame the person who whooped the person ass. People blame the person who is holding who has power to turn the lever or press the button. And the group who has the power to turn the lever or press the button is the IRGC. And you know this is true because even China, right? They're pushing Iran right now. They're telling Iran, hey, y'all need to stop this shit. Y'all, this, and I understand Iran. I'm black. I get it. I get it when somebody punched you in the eye and you like, but they punched me in my eye. And you like, that's not fair, but life's not fair. Life's not fair. Because if you look at these articles, so they over there squabbing in India. Now China's Wang Yi pushes Iran to talk with U.S. about ending war. China's foreign minister urges early peace talks in call with Iranian counterpart. China apparently has given Iran some advice about the war and the peace plan. I mean, guys, nobody is looking at us. No one is looking at America. Everyone's looking at Iran because they're the people who control the Strait of Hormuz. And guess what happens? If they don't open it up, all these countries going to join America and going to whoop Iran ass to open up that strait. That's why I know for a fact in my mind, Trump is telling the truth. Because you got too many people who depend on you for you to be able to just be like, fuck it, I'm closing it. No, they're going to start putting pressure on you. It's like being married. You could be mad as hell at your job, like, fuck it, I ain't going to work. Once you don't get a paycheck, your wife ain't going to blame your job no more. She going to start looking at you. You the person who's supposed to be putting food in this house. I don't give a damn what they did to you over there at that job. You need to get your ass back over there. I promise you. Quit your job today. I don't care if your boss spit in your face, which you consume, or say your boss cursed you out and called you an N-word, and you quit. I ain't about to be there and let nobody disrespect me. I promise you after about 2 weeks, your wife going to be like, hey, man, look, if you ain't found nothing else, you're going to just go back and eat some crow and apologize. Because people operate based on what have you done for me lately? So this is just a reality. Somebody told me, you sound like a damn fool trying to defend these genocidal maniacs. Who are the genocidal maniacs? Are you talking about Iran? That came to my country and stole it's O-U-R, our land and resources. Invictus, what are you? You got to tell me where you're from so I know where we stole. So I can tell you we don't give a fuck. I can't tell you specifically if I don't know where you're from. Nah, I'm just kidding, bro. I understand that you're mad, and I understand that you don't like the fact that the United States stole your land, right? And if I knew where you were from, I would better be able to understand how I should feel about what you said. Oh, you an Indian boy? Shut your ass up. We killed a whole bunch of y'all. Black people helped whoop y'all ass, so we can't have no sympathy for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Squanto. You do know, you know, Black Americans, like the Buffalo, we killed thousands of these motherfuckers. You want to talk about getting whooped out? Go to an Indian reservation right now, and you Black, they gonna be looking at you dirty as a motherfucker. They might whoop your ass. I ain't gonna lie to you. They do not like Black Americans, because I wouldn't like us either, based on what we did to y'all. Shit, we took out slavery on these niggas. Go back and read some of those accounts of what the Buffalo Soldier regiments did to American Indians, bro. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was pretty sad. But yeah, we tapped that ass. But I'm sorry. I would like to issue you a very unremarkable and insignificant apology for whooping that ass. Trail of Tears was a horror. Hey, you guys own slaves, you son of a bitch. This is my country that you're in. No, they didn't. The only Americans are the so-called blacks. This is not your country. Your country had tents and no houses. No permanent structures. We burnt that up and built some real shit. We built Walmarts where your country used to be at. You can go live in the basement of Walmart if you want to. I ain't got no objection to that. Oh, of course they did. They had a lot. Indians held on to slaves even after Lincoln freed the slaves. And Lincoln had to actually pay this. No, not Lincoln. America had to pay the Indians to release their slaves. That's why your mama think you got Cherokee in your family. Because the Cherokee and the Choctaws held on to their slaves longer than anybody. I mean, it's a brutal past, but y'all did y'all share. Y'all got as good as y'all was given as good as y'all got. Stop fronting. And then when it was time to fight for the country, y'all fought for the British and got your ass whooped. So that was it. That's like the white man's like, yeah, but they fought with the British. So now y'all got your ass whooped. Yeah, that's what's going on. But yeah, so I hope you guys, I'm going to clip this part out. It's funny. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the straight, man. These guys, wigwam. Indian words are funny. They're like, when you be like, say an Indian word like 10 times and watch it lose all meaning. Like, say wigwam 10 times. That word will lose all meaning. It ain't barely got no meaning when you first say it, because most people don't know what the hell it is. But just say moccasin like 15 times. It will lose all meaning. You could literally assign the word to anything else. But you guys, yeah. Y'all didn't. The problem with Indians is they didn't write nothing down. So they didn't have no written language. So they can't even claim shit. They was signing shit and couldn't even read the shit, bro. They put your mark here. How? Like, he was asking, how do I sign that? And white man was just like, spit on it. And that was it. And that's how we got California. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are a constant source of entertainment. Stop making me laugh at you. Stop making me make fun of you. Damn it. Okay. Nothing gets me laughing harder than talking about Native Americans. I ain't gonna lie. Dane Calloway just stole y'all damn identity. Y'all need to go over there and jump that fool. He got a cult of fake Indians. That's crazy. Oh, man. O'Shea is still going in on Africans. What's up? You know, O'Shea. I like O'Shea. I talked to O'Shea the other day. He's a good brother. I'm going to go work for O'Shea. Tell O'Shea I need a job. Tell him to stay in Africa and hire me, and I'll come out there and work for him. So, whoa. So we're discussing the news now. What news have you guys been hearing? I like this to be leisure. I like it to be a little bit less like, you know. Stop making me work. Cause that first segment, that was work. I was cooking the hell out of that lady. Okay. So we have I don't understand why Democrats don't want to pass the SAVE Act. Like, I mean, like, when you look at, like, people, like, I want to tell you something, my way of determining if somebody is good faith or not. There's usually two things that you can identify in any situation that tells you whether or not a situation, somebody is doing something in good faith. Like Iran, right? I know Iran is not operating in good faith because they're enriching uranium past the point that they need it for energy. And they won't let UN inspectors into the country to inspect the nuclear facilities to see what they're doing. Those two facts tell me they're trying to build a military weapon. I mean, a nuclear weapon. With the Democrats, it's absolutely nuts because these dudes have basically said the quiet part out loud, where they have, in my opinion, I saw a video where a Democrat straight up said out his own mouth that all they care about is illegal immigrants. I'm trying to I don't remember exactly what video that was. I'm trying to, maybe if I go in my history. But this dude said, the Democrat literally said, oh yeah, immigrants are all we care about. I was like, what? He was like, illegal immigrants are all we worried about. I was like, how in the hell did this dude just say this on air? But I don't know if you guys watch it, but watch this stuff, but that's what he said. But basically, it looks like some of these Republicans are trying to fold to Democrat politicians on air. I think it's this video.
Senator Fetterman, great.
Nobody understands why these people don't want to pass the SAVE Act to keep the illegal immigrants from voting in the elections. And, you know, it makes no sense because it's like, what party? It makes no sense because it's like the people who put you in power are American citizens. So why would you throw what they want out the window to then support a bunch of people who have no power to put you in power? Like, if they can't vote, why are you working so hard to please them? That's my question to the Democrats.
Senator Fetterman, great to have you here today. You know, I want to start with the news that's happening on the Hill, the Save America Act. Where do you stand on that?
Well, where we stand, I mean, we don't even have the Republicans on their side. And I want to thank you guys for running all those clips about Democrats to nuke the filibuster. I mean, you know, all the Democrats, we wanted to nuke the filibuster. I mean, and I campaigned on it too. So, I mean, we were very wrong about that, to nuke the filibuster. And we should really humble ourselves and remind people that, and now we wanted to eliminate it. Now we love it. Now we love the filibuster. So that's a fact where we are now. So where I'm at, and now, as your prior guest pointed out, 84% of Americans have no idea with presenting IDs to vote. So it's not like a radical idea.
And what he means is 85% of the Americans have no problem with presenting ID to vote. But this is a Democrat, John Fetterman. I didn't used to like him, but I kind of like him now. If you got a Democrat politician coming out like, yo, we know what the facts are. The fact that he knows that 85% of Americans support the voter ID, that means the Democrat Party understands what the numbers say. Why are they going against 85% of America? That's what I'm trying to get. And why would America continue to support them when they have shown that they can go against the majority of Americans to push a policy that they want? That to me tells me that if it ever gets to the point where there's some authoritarianism or some totalitarianism on the table in this country, Democrat Party is going to be the one that implements it, because they've showed a willingness to go against the democratic sentiment. If 85% of Americans want to pass the SAVE Act and they want ID to vote, why that should be a easy vote, should have took 5 minutes and we're done with it. Instead, they rather have Americans in lines all over the country at airports just so that they don't have to pass the SAVE Act. Like it's going to hurt their party or something, which it will because they won't be able to get illegal immigrant votes.
It's not something, and there already are many states that show basic ID. So that's where we are in the Senate. So I would never refer to the SAVE Act as like Jim Crow 2.0 or some kinds of conspiracy. But that's part of the debate that we were having here in the Senate right now. And I don't call people names or imply that it's some kinds of things, something gross about the terrible history of like Jim Crow.
So you're not there on the Save America Act specifically just yet, but you're there on the principle of voter ID. Is that what I'm hearing?
What I'm saying, though, that states, whether it's like Georgia or other states, you have ID to vote. That's not a radical idea. Now, some people can agree or disagree on that, but it is not a radical idea. And many states already do that. And Wisconsin already ratified that in their constitution. Wisconsin elected a very liberal justice, and now almost 2-1, they voted to produce ID to vote and put it in their constitution. Wisconsin, you have Baldwin, very liberal, and Johnson, very conservative. I mean, that's part of the pull and push about the American democracy.
Boy. I don't really understand why this is even something that's up for debate. Sarah, sorry. I don't even understand why this is even something that's being debated. It really seems like the Democrats are using anything to stall into the midterms. They believe they're going to have a big turnout in the midterms. I'm not so sure about that, right? I think they're pissing a lot of Americans off. And this situation with Iran, I believe it will end before the midterms. And if it ends before the midterms, Trump has a long time to try to endear himself to the American people. You only have 7 states that you don't have to have ID to vote. But I bet you every last one of them are blue states. What are the states that where you don't have to have ID to vote? And also, let me tell you something too. There's little laws that they put in place that kind of undermine the ID to vote situation. Because there's states like in California, I think, if you have your ID, you could vouch for like 7 other people to vote who don't have their ID. Think about that. I don't know what Josh was talking about Iran having brains and heart. They don't have brains. They're stupid. Americans have gotten weaker since the 80s. Yeah, Iran to me doesn't have brains, bro. Iran is probably one of the dumbest countries on earth because just the whole way they let this unfold shows you that whoever's running the country is not that bright. But I mean, you could keep saying that if you want to. But anyway, so yeah, I don't really understand why the voter ID thing is even an issue. It seems like the Democrats just stalling, using that to freeze the Republicans' ability to gain points with the American people. Because I think there's an element of the voter ID thing that definitely is, properly. They're trying to gain points with the American people, but the Republicans are stifling that. I do not understand why American politicians are fighting so hard for illegal immigrants. That for me is where my mind doesn't process that well. What do you gain? Unless you're trying to make all these people citizens. That's crazy.
The instance of a non-citizen voting dilutes the vote of eligible citizens. Local races in Louisiana can often be decided by just a handful of votes, or even one vote in some cases.
Secretary of State Nancy Landry and her team are continuing to, quote, clean out Louisiana's voter rolls and taking out registered voters who registered and voted illegally. It's part of a joint and active investigation with state and federal partners, including the FBI, Homeland Security, and Louisiana DOJ.
My office will be working with the appropriate authorities for prosecution, and I will be encouraging those authorities to file charges in every single case that the law allows.
Since May, the state has used a federal system called SAVE. It's an internet program for registered federal, state, territory, tribal, and local government bodies, verifying a person's immigration and citizenship status in the U.S. Louisiana was the first state to utilize SAVE to, quote, clean out their voter rolls. And with help from SAVE, Landry says 390 people were found to have illegally registered to vote in Louisiana. From that number, 79 of those voters actually voted in at least one of Louisiana's elections. Those voters are now off of Louisiana's voter rolls, according to Landry.
I want to be clear, non-citizens illegally registering or voting is not a systemic problem in Louisiana. I take great pride in the steps our office takes to maintain accurate voter rolls.
Election integrity has been a hot topic recently nationwide and here in Alabama. Today, the Secretary of State releasing new details from an audit to remove non-citizens from state voter rolls. The Alabama Secretary of State's office already reported last week that 186 voters had been identified as non-citizens and ineligible to vote. That figure amounts to less than 0.1% of those on Alabama voter rolls. Now, we know exactly where those individuals were registered. 21 in Madison County, for instance. That's the second highest number among all counties in the state, behind Jefferson County. But the audit also found of the 186 illegal voters, only 25 cast a ballot. Fox 54 spoke with Secretary of State Wes Allen, and he tells us these audits are worth it, even if very few illegal voters are found.
It's worth it. And even one non-citizen on our voter file, and even one non-citizen that cast a ballot is too many. The standard is high in our office. And, you know, this process started a while back, and we signed a memorandum of understanding with DHS back last summer, and then started the process. You know, we've got about a 3.7 million or so registered voters on our voter file here in the state of Alabama. And it took a while.
As far as the audits are concerned, Secretary Allen also tells Fox 54 that there are no plans to stop similar audits from happening in the future.
Yeah, so this is what they found in red states.
So, here's the issue. People might say not that many illegal immigrants are voting in elections. But what people don't understand is that even if one illegal votes in an election, that cancels out the vote of an American citizen. And we're now finding out that there has been a lot of voter fraud going on in this country. There was a judge in Minnesota who just pled guilty to voter fraud. So everything that they've been saying isn't going on is actually happening. Minnesota election judge, right here, I'll show you guys. So this they're telling us that this isn't happening. And when Trump was trying to call this out, a lot of people were saying that he was crazy and he doesn't know what he's talking about and just so dismissive. That's what I really don't like. I don't like when we're dismissive of claims being made because sometimes there's truth to those claims. So there was a Minnesota election judge who just pled guilty to allowing 11 unregistered people to vote. A man who served as head judge in Hubbard County pleaded guilty Monday to allowing 11 unregistered people to vote in the 2024 general election. Timothy Michael Skelton, 65, was charged with accepting votes from unregistered voters and neglecting to carry out the duties required as an election officer. As part of the plea, the neglect charge was dismissed, according to court documents. Officials began investigating after Hubbard County Auditor Kay Rave could not find any completed voter registration forms among the ballots and other materials returned by Scooten of Nevis, who had been the head election judge in Bandura Township precinct, according to criminal complaint. Another election judge told an investigator from that county sheriff's office that Scooten directed them not to use the registration forms, the complaint said, while another says Scooten told them that new voters needed only sign the back of a book. The complaint said that the investigator then met with Scooten at the sheriff's office. He was advised of his rights, but declined to make a statement and was then put under arrest, the complaint said. The complaint did not give a potential motive. But look at what you got going on. You got election officials like, hey, they're not registered, but count their vote. Don't even use the registration forms. See, this is the type of stuff. So if he did that with 11 people, who knows how many people he did that with overall? He just got caught for 11. And how many people like him in Minnesota are doing the same thing? And how many years have these people been overseeing elections, and how have those elections been affected by what these people are doing? Stuff like this is going on all over America. Georgia, they found a bunch of stuff in Georgia. They're basically saying that Georgia should have went red in 2020, which would have gave Trump the win. They also found some stuff in Pennsylvania. So it's just like it shows there has to be something done with our elections to maintain the integrity of them. People dismiss this like it's not a big deal, but it really is if you're someone who votes. Imagine you go vote for the person you support, and then your vote is canceled out because they didn't let illegal or an unregistered person come in and vote in an election that they shouldn't have even been allowed to participate in. That's really upsetting, and it's scary to even think about. So I love what's going on, and I just wish the American people would rally around Trump to get these Democrats. You know, the Democrats, the way they try to play in the American people's face is wild. I don't like nobody who try to play in my face. And it seems like that's what the Democrats try to do. They try to play in your face like you're too dumb to see when they doing something that they ain't got no business doing. I don't like that. And I know y'all don't like that either.
It's the Save America Act, and the Democrats are against it. I heard one of them say, we will stop the Save America Act. No, we're trying to save America. And it has to do with largely voting. And basically, it's got three very simple points. It's got voter ID, photo ID, but voter ID with a photo, right? It's got the confirmation of U.S. citizenship. And then you have no mail-in ballots. And it would be no mail-in ballots, very important. That will assure the security of our crooked elections. We have crooked elections.
And just to be clear, the SAVE Act does not include a ban on mail-in ballots, despite what the president just said there in that clip. But the other part of it has been more controversial. It's not just a voter ID bill or law that they would like to pass. It's also something that would require you to show up in person with some proof of your citizenship. And no, your real ID wouldn't count. No, you could not just show up with your driver's license. You would have to bring your passport or your birth certificate. So that's what's made this controversial. And I think it's a real question, a debate to have in this country about whether that is even necessary, Joe.
Yeah, it's great to have a debate, but we have to remember that 80% of the people have a general understanding about what voter ID is. They have an understanding that, voter ID at some form is in about 25 states. I personally am sick of sort of the circles that we always run, where Republicans are saying, this many cases of voter fraud have happened. Democrats will say, well, that's not indicative of, massive voter fraud. I want to hear where in those 23 or 24, 25 states that have voter ID laws in place already, where people are required to show an ID, where is the massive studies of people being disenfranchised. In fact, it's the opposite is true. You remember, I think it was 2021, the MLB All-Star Game pulled out of Georgia because Georgia was implementing voter ID and it was going to disenfranchise voters. The number of gubernatorial voters went from the year before 1.1 million to 1.9. Bakari, your state, I looked it up. South Carolina, because I know they're a voter ID state. They went from 56% voter turnout in the presidential year in 2012 to 61% in 2020 and then like 65% in 2024. Those are more people voting in states that have passed voter ID laws. So this is why I think the majority of Americans reasonably can look at it and say this is a good thing.
Yeah, so the reason why Democrats claim voter.
This guy Bakari Sellers, they might as well just change this dude's name to Bakari Sellout. This guy is going to find a way to make Democrats right no matter what he has to do. Destiny, George Tinker. Yeah, man, you support Destiny. Are you a homosexual? I'm still not understanding the people who say that Destiny owned me, bro. That dude got cooked and then tried to edit the footage to make it look like he won. That's crazy. But yeah, Bakari Sellers is going to say anything that he has to make it look like the Democrats are right. But when it comes to voter ID and it comes to illegals, there's really, in my opinion, only one video you really need to see from the Democrat Party. And this right here is Democrat Senator Chris Murphy. I want you to hear what he says.
It was entirely on their terms in order to get Ukraine funding, right?
Well, I mean, Chris, that's been a failed play for 20 years. So you are right that has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe. And it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country.
So Chris Murphy told you straight up, he's a Democrat. It failed to deliver for the people we care about most, who are the undocumented people in this country. That right there tells you everything you need to know. I'm going to play it again. I don't know why this won't play.
Well, I mean, Chris, that's been a failed play for 20 years. So you are right that has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe. And it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country.
So the Democrats are telling you exactly who they care about. They're not saying we care about the American people, we care about the American citizens. They're like, we care about the illegal immigrants. My question is, why? What are they gaining from that position? Like, is that just Soros, like, paying you guys?
I'll look into the case.
Like, perfect, like, sabotage? But this, this guy, Hakeem Jeffries, he's under fire right now. I don't know if you guys heard about the situation with the girl Sheridan Gorman, the pretty little white girl who got killed by a illegal immigrant bum in Chicago. She was walking around her school campus with her friends trying to look at the Northern Lights. And an illegal immigrant jumped out the bushes on them, pulled out a gun, and shot Sheridan, and she died. Why is Hakeem Jeffries saying that he doesn't know if that illegal should be deported? Check this out.
An illegal immigrant has been charged with murdering a college student in Chicago last week. Do House Democrats believe if he's convicted, he's someone who should be deported? I'll look into the case. Do you expect any... An illegal immigrant is...
I'll look into the case. If convicted, does an illegal immigrant who killed an innocent college student, does he deserve to get deported? And Hakeem Jeffries can't even come out and say yes, without a shadow of a doubt. If he is in fact convicted of murder, jumping out of the bushes on an innocent young college student and murdering her, he should be deported. Guys, these guys are gone. They are gone. I don't know how else to describe this. These damn Democrats, man. They I don't know why anybody would keep voting for them. I don't understand. At this point, it's, and maybe people say that, Republicans keep letting their guard down and Republicans need to stay on the ball and stay on top of the voting and all that stuff. But I understand why some Republicans let their guard down, because it's like, you can't imagine that someone would be dumb enough to vote for these people. They're literally replacing your vote and everyone else's with illegal immigrants. They're literally creating a situation where illegal immigrants could overrun America. But people still go out. I guess we're like, we got to see it happen before we realize how bad it is. But it's crazy. There's a story that I really want to cover. This guy right here. In Texas. We're going to do this like a real broadcast. I'm going to get it all organized. This story was funny as hell. This story killed me. It cooked me. So, I wonder if it's on X. Here we go. Oh, no. They never put the full stories on X. That's why I'm taking a little bit longer, y'all, because I'm kind of switching over to X being my main thing for the commentary. But I guess for this video, we are going to have to... I really don't want to listen to it in an Indian voice, though, because they be tripping. Okay. Y'all gotta, so this next story is very interesting. It involves an Indian immigrant who managed to become a judge in Texas, who has been convicted of money laundering. But what makes this Indian judge's case especially interesting is the fact that they're saying he committed election fraud. And I'll just let the video explain it, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. This actually had me cracking up early this morning.
Guilty. That is the verdict in the money laundering case against Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joel Eisenbaum.
And I'm Corley Peel. Lisa has the day off. He was accused of using more than $46,000 in campaign money for personal expenses. And reporter Rochelle Turnell is live at the Fort Bend County Justice Center with this breaking update. Hey, Rochelle.
Hey, Corley and Joel, good afternoon to you. It was a unanimous decision. After deliberating for about 4 hours, the jury found Fort Bend County Judge K.P. George guilty on money laundering charges. Now, around 1 o'clock this afternoon, the jurors, they had a question about how the funds were used in this case. And then shortly after 1:27 is when that verdict was announced. Take a listen.
On page 10 of the verdict form, verdict of the jury, guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle Prasad George, guilty of money laundering. Third-degree felony is charged in the indictment. And cause number 25 DCR 110889A. Page 8 of the charge, the verdict of guilty. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle Prasad George guilty of money laundering and third-degree felony offense as charged in the indictment, signed by George C. Gleason, foreperson of the jury, on today, March 20th, 2026.
Now, George was silent when the verdict was read. He did not have any emotion on his face, and shortly after, he was placed in handcuffs and escorted out of the courtroom by Fort Bend County deputies. Now, KP George was facing 2 felony counts of money laundering. Prosecutors argued George improperly used more than $46,000 from his campaign account, allegedly including a down payment on a home. Now, campaign finances are required to be tracked and reported to the state. And with this guilty verdict, George now faces serious consequences. Under Texas law, a felony conviction could force him to step down or be removed from office. We asked prosecutors what will happen next for the county judge.
Well, what happens next is there's a sentencing hearing on June 16th. The law
verdict. Filing his defense team dollars by law. Now, the judge set bond for George at $20,000. By law, he will still act as Fort Bend County judge once he posts bond. George's defense team said it's unclear what they will do next. His team says they argued that there was inaccuracies on his state filing and that it wasn't done on purpose. His defense team also said they were very surprised by today's verdict.
I was surprised by the verdict. Given the evidence or the lack of evidence, I clearly thought there was reasonable doubt. But every good lawyer will tell you that you never know what a jury's going to do. You don't know what 12 people get back there, what particular piece of evidence they've heard over almost 2 weeks they might gravitate to. Who are the strong personalities back there, and how do they feel about it? But ultimately, yeah, we're disappointed in the verdict. We thought the evidence established that he was innocent. We clearly thought the evidence established that there was reasonable doubt.
So again, Fort Bend County Judge KP George was found guilty on money laundering charges. His bond was set at $20,000. As for the sentencing phase, that will start on June 16th. That's the very latest. Reporting live here at the Fort Bend County Criminal Justice Center, I'm Rochelle Turner, KPRC 2 News.
Guilty. That is the verdict.
So this guy was doing some money laundering. He was also caught making fake racist posts on social media against himself. They said that said that this guy was like paying somebody to go online and make racist posts about him. I'm telling you, these Indian people, you see them on like every political stage at this point. They are literally moving up the ranks. They're moving up the political ranks. And there's nothing you're going to do to stop them because they know how to work the system. They really know how to work the system. They'll participate in voter fraud if that's what gets them to the seat of power. And when they get there, guess what? The purpose is to steal. The immigrants will show you where the money is. And in America, politics is where the money is. You don't got to speak good English, nothing. All you have to do is tell a bunch of victim-minded people what they want to hear. That's it. And if when you talk, what comes out your mouth is what they want to agree with, they're going to vote for you. They're going to support you. It's sad, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm not really seeing any story. What's up, guys? Was it like a down news day today? Was it a down news day today? Because I'm not really seeing any major news out here. You know, I think everything is revolving around the situation with the Strait of Hormuz. But yeah, so I think we'll call it a day here. I don't really see anything, just the same. Maybe it's my algorithm. Maybe my algorithm is messed up. Maybe I just got too much Pookie and Ray Ray stuff in my algorithm. Ever since I went on No Jumper, I get a lot of like nonsense. But I tried for you guys. I tried with you. So the Iranian military has issued a defiant message to Donald Trump. I mean, it has defiant in the title, and you're on the Defiant Brandon channel. So I guess I got to cover it, right? What I don't like is how the Iranians, people, they believe, certain people, they believe everything the Iranians say. And I'm like, it's proven fact that Iran they're a bunch of liars, right? They tell lies. This whole time they've been talking tough. They've been absolutely smashed militaristically. I'm sitting here waiting because, you want the war to be a little bit exciting. But all I'm seeing is Iran getting whooped out, but they're like that person who you get in a fight with and you keep beating them and they just keep talking shit. They can't do anything to you, but they're just going to keep talking shit. That's how I feel. That's how I feel Iran is. They're just like, as long as we throw out this crazy ass statement, it don't matter what they do. But my thing is, we scoring. We counting touchdowns. And so they're saying we're not negotiating with the United States. But then you go to every article and it's like, well, China is talking to Iran and telling them to negotiate. Iran calls his Pakistani counterpart to talk about negotiation with the United States. Look, if you believe that Iran is not negotiating, you're just a fool. Iran is a country that understands how to work a fool. And they know how to work Black America because Black America wants so badly to see someone hurt the United States that anything Iran says, Black Americans grab onto it and cling to it. I'm not buying it. I think they're in a desperate situation. I think the United States has killed all their leaders. We haven't even heard from the guy who's the new Ayatollah. They said, Iran, you guys remember when Khamenei got killed? They first said bro was alive and well. Remember that? Remember when they said Iran was alive and well? I mean, the Khamenei was alive and well? They lied because it came out that he was dead. These people are not honest. But let's see what warning they've issued to America.
Right about 20 minutes now past the hour, President Trump sounding optimistic about talks with Iran, saying that negotiators have made progress on at least one major point.
It all starts with they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Just, I said yesterday, they said, what are the top 10? I said, well, number 1, 2, and 3 is they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And we're talking about that. And I don't want to say in advance, but they've agreed they will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that.
That from Tuesday. Now on Wednesday morning, Peter Doocy picks it up. North Lawn, White House. Peter, nice to see you. Good morning.
Bill, good morning. And that is a big step closer to the end of Epic Fury if Epic Fury was started to stop Iran from getting a nuke. Now officials here are floating a 15-point peace plan to end the war once and for all.
It was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant.
Hey, y'all could come up here and give me y'all opinion on the war. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get the people who don't support the situation to come up and give me their reasons why. Someone saying Trump is a Fruhair who said no new wars. People say a lot of things, but things change. Situations change. Trump really, I don't think he planned on having a conflict. But when Iran is like, we got enough enriched uranium to create 11 nukes, you got to do something. You got to do something.
Prize. It wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related. And it was a very nice thing they did. But what it showed me is that we're dealing with the right people.
part of the problem is that part of the group that created all these problems in Iran, Iran's Revolutionary Guard, has a spokesman saying about these negotiations, have your internal conflicts reached the point where you are negotiating with yourselves? Our first and last word has been the same from day one, and it will stay that way. Someone like us will never come to terms with someone like you. But President Trump is suggesting that the old guard is out of the mix.
We killed all their leadership. And then they met to choose new leaders, and we killed all of them. And now we have a new group, and we can easily do that, but let's see how they turn out.
Do you guys think that Trump, this is my question to the audience. Do you think that Iran is telling the truth, or do you think that Trump is telling the truth? I think that Iran has new leadership, and they're saying they want to do one thing, but I think there's some holdovers from the old leadership that's like, nah, we're not going to surrender. That's what I think. I think it's a mixed message coming out of the city, out of this country, because you got to have people who are like, man, fuck this. I ain't trying to die. I could be the head of something now. That's what people do. I know we want to believe that, like, no, they'll be loyal to the Ayatollah to the end, and they'll never surrender to the United States. But that's just not the way politics works. Politicians are like rats, bro. They're just loyal. They're loyal to the moment. That's it. They're not loyal to like anybody. They're loyal to the moment. If they have an opportunity to come up and get something for themselves, they will. So do I believe that there's someone attempting to negotiate with Trump in America? Yes, I do, because that's the way politicians are. This guy who's like talking shit still, I think he's probably like a fundamentalist. He's a guy who was in the IRGC. And I think that he wants to hold on to this idea that Iran's going to win. But I really don't. There ain't no demeasuring, bro. They done got cooked, bro. Iran is cooked. Please, if you believe that Iran is somehow going to salvage a win out of this, please click that link. Please click that link. Because I'm not going to say anything. I want you to explain it to me. Is Iran negotiating, or is Trump lying? That's the question. Is Iran, that's our subject for right now. Is Iran negotiating, or is who's lying? Now, my opinion is that Iran is lying. Because they've been lying the whole war. I'll put that there. I want you guys' opinions. I want to get some people coming up here. Tell me what you think. Because I've given my opinion over and over. But I'm really just not getting a good argument from the other side. I have a lot of people, my friends on Facebook and all that stuff, and people I even know in real life, but they'll tell me like, oh, Iran's doing this and Iran's doing that. But then when I go research it, that ain't the case. Iran better negotiate or Iran won't exist. Iran already won. We have no exit. What are you talking about? Does see what I'm saying? It's some big claims. I realize that the people who support Iran, they're like Iran. They jump out with these big claims, but then we're like, back them up. Y'all not gonna believe this. I got a friend, right? He was like, we were arguing about the wrestler who got killed, who got hanged for protesting against the IRGC. And bro was like, he got hanged because he killed 2 cops. And I said, what? He killed 2 cops? I said, bro, this guy is a college wrestler. For what reason is this guy going in the street killing cops? He says, because the cop was sleeping with his girlfriend. It's on video. I said, bro, you have a video of this dude killing 2 cops. That dude was like, yeah, I got a video. He killed 2 cops, yada, 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 yada. I said, dude, send me the video. This guy sent me a video, bro. This guy sent me a video. So I'm watching the video, and it's a dude with a stick, and he beating the shit out of the other dude. And you can't see nobody's face. It look like shadows, right? This man sent me a video of a movie theater. It was a movie theater, the inside of a movie theater, and on the screen is a movie playing. You could literally see people walking past with popcorn. So bro sent me a video of a movie. And I'm like, are you freaking out of your mind, dude? And he really sent that to me and really expected me to like believe that that was a video of someone getting killed. He expected me to believe that that was a video of someone getting killed, of 2 cops getting killed by this dude in Iran. I said, bro, you sent me a video of a movie that's being played in a damn movie theater. That boggled the hell out of my mind, dude. That was the wildest, most craziest shit I ever saw in my life. I said, man, what? You really expect me to believe this? And clearly, he really thought that I was gonna fall for that. I said, this is stupid. But that just kind of shows you where these people's minds are gone. A lot of these people have been on the internet like way too long. And so now they think everything they see or hear on the internet is true. I'm just like, bruh, you got to get it together. He really thought that I was about to fall for that. Rubio Fetterman, hell no. Bro, you know, they will get attacked. Rubio, yes. Fetterman, no. What the hell? That's crazy. But is Iran negotiating or is Trump lying? That's my question. Let me see if these know-it-alls. That's what I want to know. Yeah, I can defend the side. I could defend the side that if they win, it results in me not getting bombed. I can easily defend the side I'm on, which is America. My question is Iran lying about negotiating? Are they telling the truth or are they lying? I don't even know. Okay. It's all because Netanyahu. Yeah, I believe Iran is lying. I mean, these people didn't Iran report that Netanyahu had been killed? My question is, why are black folks just believing everything Iran say without even no question? None. I'm like, dude, these dudes are not no straight up truth tellers. I could see if you don't trust the United States, bro, but Iran ain't the country I'm trusting over the United States. That just ain't happening. Let's see if this dude is here. But yeah, this guy sent me a movie scene and was like, see, there's the proof. I said, bro, you gone. You gone. If you believe that that's proof, your ass is gone. But this is what we're dealing with. That's why I just take everything with a grain of salt, man. Iran is laying traps in Karg Island. This is oh yeah. So yeah, I want to play this. Cause that same friend was like, yeah, Iran just deployed a bunch of soldiers to Karg Island. I'm in my mind like, there ain't no way these dudes deployed a bunch of soldiers to Karg Island, because Karg Island ain't like the mainland of Iran. If they put a bunch of soldiers on Karg Island, America and Israel are controlling their airspace. If they see them moving soldiers to Karg Island, they could just go blow them up. And that's how you know a lot of people don't have a realistic understanding of like war in 2026. Do you guys realize the planes are flying so high in the air you can't see them? But they can see you. And they're using satellites and stuff to target you and see where you're going and where you're moving to. If Iran tried to move a bunch of people to Karg Island, they would be dead before they even took a step onto a boat to get to Karg Island. So if they're moving them, how are they moving them? That's my question. If they're moving them to Karg Island, how are they moving them there? But people are sitting up saying, oh yeah, they're moving a bunch of troops to Karg Island. Do you understand what a strategic blunder that would be in military terms? To send a bunch of ground troops to an island in the middle of a war where they're bombing the hell out of you? It's just stupid. And CNN, they're saying this, oh, they're laying traps in Karg Island. I promise you, when we listen to this, I bet you they're not going to be able to explain what kind of bombs, how are they doing it, you know, what are the logistics of it. They're just throwing shit out there. Reporting Iranian propaganda.
Iran building up its defenses on its Karg Island ahead of a potential U.S. ground operation, all as the Trump administration tries to find a diplomatic path to end the war. Sources familiar with U.S. intelligence reporting tell CNN Iran is laying traps and moving military personnel and air defenses to the tiny island that handles about 90% of the nation's crude exports. Sources also tell CNN the Pentagon is weighing a takeover of that island as a way to force the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. But there is concern among officials about whether risks to U.S. troops outweigh the potential gain. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt today offering little information about whether Congress would be called if even more troops are set to be deployed.
That formal authorization from Congress is not necessary because we're currently in major combat operations in Iran. The Department of War and the President, as I said, estimated about a 4 to 6 week timeline for the full completion of these military combat operations. At this moment, it's unnecessary. The President likes to maintain options at his disposal.
The White House is still pressing on to find an off-ramp to the war. Sources say the U.S. offered a 15-point list of expectations this week, with Pakistan serving as a diplomatic intermediary.
Do you really think that the United States, this is why I can't stand CNN. Do you think the United States, have you guys, if you've been on this channel, I went over the 15-point list of demands. In my mind, there is no way Iran can agree to those demands. Do you really think the United States is looking for an off-ramp, or do you think the United States is putting Iran in a position where they have no choice but to get fucked up? These dudes are like total surrender. No more nukes. No more ballistic missile program. 24-hour oversight over all nuclear facilities. There is no way Iran could agree to this and still save face as the premier Muslim authority in the Middle East, bro. There's no way. But what we do know is you got the other Middle Eastern countries, they're smelling blood. They're ready to go into Iran. They're ramping up like, yeah, we we ready to do something. Because now Iran is so damn weak that their armies could probably do something. But I don't know if this was true, but I think I heard or read that Iran only shot 2 missiles at Israel yesterday. Oh, so they then went from shooting hundreds of missiles in a day. So now Iran is only shooting 10 missiles per day. Based on reports, March 24th, 2026, Iran has continued its attacks on Israel with ongoing daily barrages, with some reports indicating an average of 10 missiles per day. Does that sound like a country that's, oh, our stockpiles are doing great and we're winning this? No, bro, that sounds like a country that's like, look, time is running out. We got to do something. But they're going to save face.
An Iranian official today rejecting that proposal through state media. Iran is offering its own conditions, and the Iranian official says Tehran will not allow Trump to dictate the timing of the war's end. President Trump said Tuesday Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio set to lead negotiations. Officials telling CNN a potential meeting this weekend could happen in Pakistan, although exact timing and location remains very fluid. The president also has said Secretary Rubio, along with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, will take part in negotiations with Iran, although it's still unclear whether they'll travel to Pakistan for a meeting this weekend. Let's discuss all of this with retired Brigadier General Steve Anderson. General, really appreciate you.
Somebody said Iran has 2,000 missiles available. Where did you get those facts from? And I think Iran had like over 20. I think they started with like 25,000 missiles. I think they started with 25,000 ballistic missiles. And they're down to 2,000? Bro, do you realize that also, where are their rocket launchers? You know they need something to launch the missiles with. I think they had like 400 something. What I saw, they're estimating that they got like 70 left. Reserving it for what? I don't get what they're going to reserve it for, because that's why I'm saying, like, let me get this out of my mouth. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you look at the way Iran's doing things, like their military strategy, it doesn't seem intelligent. It seems like they're just kind of like reacting.
You coming in. I want to start with the headlines that people may have seen. CNN reported about a deployment of about 1,000 troops from the 82nd Airborne. And just to start with the 82nd Airborne itself, spent a lot of time in Fort Bragg as a kid, the significance of the unit.
It's a great unit. The immediate response force that they put together, probably about 1,000 troops, although some people are saying perhaps 2,000. That's probably about a battalion's worth. They can be on the ground in about 22 hours or so to fly to a place like probably Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. That would put them, if the mission is Karg Island, they'd be about 250 miles away. Still a long shot, but still.
We gotta guess. What's up, my man? Tell me what I don't know.
What's up, good sir?
What up?
What's up? I don't know. You seem like you wanted someone that maybe was taking the other position than you to explain some things to you. So
I'm here to learn.
I don't know how much we may be in agreement mostly on this. I'm not one of the ones that's sitting here saying Iran's going to win or something, but I'll do my best to maybe add some clarification or the different perspective from what you have.
Let's give ourselves a background of a map so we can visualize. I like to be able to visualize stuff. All right. So what do you think? What do you think is going on with this? Who do you think is winning this conflict right now?
Well, I mean, it's obvious we're winning. So like I don't think that's up for discussion. I think maybe, bots or like 15-year-olds that don't really know the world would have something to say different. But generally speaking, I think everybody understands that in a military conflict, when you have one side decimated and the other side not, that the one that's not decimated is winning. you asked a question. It was like, what was it? The lying. You asked if they were lying. Yeah, Iran's lying for sure. But that doesn't necessarily mean, the White House is also telling the truth,
No, yeah.
So
do you think at this stage Trump would risk making up a lie?
Yes.
Because he's kind of down. Like, if he says this and that, and then it doesn't turn out to be that, that's like more fuel on the fire of people hating him.
No, because the people that don't rock with them or hate them are going to stay that way regardless. And the people that, the maggots, I don't know if you are one, but the
Don't
maggots
say
are
maggot. Don't do no derogatory.
Is that a? Will I get kicked? Well, I'm
You
being a
won't get
gentleman.
kicked.
Okay,
You
all
have a
right.
freedom
Well,
of speech.
I know I don't want to mess up your channel, so I don't.
No, you're 100%. Maggot is
Okay,
fine.
cool. Okay, cool.
But
yeah, I don't know if the maggots are going to stay with them regardless. He said a whole bunch of. Can I cuss?
yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Okay. He said a whole bunch of shit on the campaign trail, went back on it, and then we got, them turning around saying, well, it's okay because of X, Y, and Z. So I don't think that's even in his mind about whether someone's going to turn on him or not, because it's obvious the ones that have are going to stay against him and the ones that haven't are going to stay with him.
Okay, so say if you say no new wars,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got information that Iran is building a nuke.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say, well, I said no new wars, so let's let Iran, because before he said no new wars, he also said Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. And he's been saying that since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maggots, me being one, we look at it like, yeah, he did say no new wars, and this really ain't new, because United States and Iran kind of been in a little Cold War since like the 79, since 1979. So I would say when you're MAGA, you're thinking like, no, we have the enemies that we know. And then we basically, what Trump should have said is no new enemies, and I think he's been successful at that because we've gotten rid of some of the old enemies and there's no new countries that we have aggressed against. And my girl, Miss Berry, she's like my secretary, my fact checker. He said no more forever wars. So.
I actually think it was J.D. Vance that said no more forever wars. But regardless, even if he had said that on multiple different occasions, they said not just no more forever wars, but no more wars. It wasn't just no more forever wars.
No new wars. But is this a new war?
To your question about if it's a new war, it's definitely I don't think. Obviously, in his first term, we had the issues where we can I say assassinate? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We assassinated dude. I can't remember his name right now in Iraq at the airport. Yeah. But I think this was the first time in this term that we struck Iran mainland, if I'm not mistaken. I know we had the stuff back in like the 80s or whatever, where we decimated, or the 90s, where we decimated their navy.
Well, we had Midnight Hammer last year.
Was he? Yeah, that's not his term.
That was mainland.
That was his term. Yeah, his term.
Yeah.
So when it comes to a war, I mean, I guess you can classify a Cold War as a war, though I wouldn't. I think when they say no new wars and they talk about people dying, then we know that they're talking about a hot conflict. And as it pertains to no new enemies, we have threatened to invade Canada. We have threatened to take over Greenland.
Stop being funny. That ain't no damn. Those ain't no damn enemies, and you know Trump was not about to invade Canada, bro. For what? They don't even have an army.
Well, they do have a military, and they serve with us.
Their military has 80,000 soldiers.
That's fine. They still, we do training with them, and they serve with us in the Middle East.
There's you're telling me in your mind that you truly believed that there was a chance that the United States was going to invade Canada, bro.
I think that in my mind, whether it's an invasion or whether he wants to forcefully try to annex Canada, yes, that is something that he wants to do.
Why do you think he would want to do that?
Because he is very egotistical and he thinks that would be good for his legacy.
Come on, man.
I think he looks at past presidents and he sees what they did, and he wants to do that even if there's not the same opportunity. So he'll try to force the opportunity.
We got to be realistic. Come on now.
Well, the issue is that maggots aren't realistic, and so you have these instances.
I'm a maggot, and I'm being more realistic than you right now.
Well, I personally don't. I don't think the president should be saying stuff they don't mean. So if we have an ally to the north of us,
so the president can't joke around.
It's not a joke when you
He
repeatedly
can't
say
be a
it.
person.
It's not a joke when you repeatedly say it, and then you host the secession elements from Quebec and the U.S. or Nova Scotia, wherever it was. So they hosted the secession people in the United States. That's not a joke.
Y'all,
So you
listen,
can't.
man.
This is the issue with maggots, is that the things happen, and then you just play it off as a joke. Oh, it's just a joke. Oh, it's just a
Bro,
joke, and then it happens, and then you guys find another excuse as to why it's okay.
Bro, there's zero chance that the United States is annexing Canada. Canada's whole economy depends on the United States, bro.
Can you tell me what the
United States
punchline?
could do this. The United States could do this. We're just cutting that Canada off 100%. Send their economy into an economic spiral,
Mm-hmm.
and then be like, all right, y'all got to become the 51st state. And
Yes, that would be.
They would
You
probably
just
be
described.
forced.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said.
They would probably be
That is
forced to
annexation.
capitulate.
That is
They would probably-
annexation.
But you have to understand that even while Trump is saying that, there were Canadian companies that were giving deals to American. Canadian companies were literally coming into America to do business at that time. So Trump was talking shit because they were talking shit to Trump. And Trudeau, you don't remember when he was into it with Trudeau, and then the new guy was talking shit, the new guy they elected, Trump just firing back at them. Y'all act like, I can do where you might think something bad might happen, but I'm not going to entertain the shit that's obviously, comical and stuff and try to be like, oh, that's something. At that point, you're literally just looking for anything to try to get somebody.
What was the punchline, or what was funny about them hosting secession party in the United States after he threatened to annex or invade Canada multiple times?
I think that's
what was fun? Okay, that's fine. I don't expect a maggot not to.
But you got to understand that
what is funny about threatening to invade Greenland?
When Donald Trump speaks to his base, he's speaking to his base because.
But you shouldn't be speaking to your. But you're the president. You shouldn't be speaking to your.
He has a freedom of speech to say anything he wants.
That's fine.
Just
you're
like
the president.
every human
I didn't say he can't. I said
he does.
Exactly. And so you're the president. You should have some limitations on what you would want to say as the most powerful person in the world.
When Trump
and
said,
that's the issue. How about this? What is a line that you have in the sand that you say, if he crosses this, I'm not going to. I'm going to disagree with him on this issue and or not support him anymore.
There's a lot of shit.
I'm asking for an example
that I don't disagree with the Joe Kent situation.
No. An example of a line in the sand that you have.
You gotta give me an example because I feel like there's certain shit that Trump would just never do.
Well, can you give an example of one of those things that you think he would never do,
Trump
where if he did
telling
it,
the military to open fire on protesters?
Okay,
I don't care. I don't care what they. I don't care what they protest.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not violent or anything, there's no reason to open fire on protesters.
And
I would have a line in the sand if he did what Iran did to those protesters.
Yeah, the 35,000 in 1 weekend.
Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah. That's wrong to do.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't support any leader who do some shit like that.
And so when you say violent, do you mean that 5 of them went and lit something on fire? Or do you mean violent as in like they're literally like, for example, Chaz? I think Chaz, that was Seattle or whatever, or Portland, one of the two, or Portland, Seattle, wherever it was. You know what I'm talking about?
Chaz?
The little like downtown area they had in like Seattle or Portland where they were like trying to control it. It was basically a secession.
Oh yeah, that's stupid.
So something like that, I think that was something that
should deal with that.
No, I think the military should.
No, the police can get riot gear and SWAT team and go in there and clear that out in 5 minutes.
But the police weren't doing it, and you can't nationalize the police. So at that point, you have to call in the National Guard. So I think the National Guard. I think the president should have called in. That wasn't Trump at the time. I think the president should, i.e., Biden, should have called in the National Guard and taken care of that. But the reason I bring that, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing in that aspect. I'm just asking you what is violence in your eyes so that we are on the same page.
If you have someone who's taking over a section of a city and doing shit like what they were doing, no cop zone, and people are in there getting killed and stuff, yes, the National Guard should be brought out and they should go in there to take those people. And I think it should be like, go over there and be like, you guys got 5 minutes to come out or we're coming in. And if they don't come out, go in, get them, and bring them out. If somebody has a gun in there and they're shooting, kill them. Yeah, knock them down.
So we're in agreement on that. So when it comes to a protest and violence, would them setting fire to a church, for example, does that count as a violent? And I'm saying all the protesters. Let's just say like let's say there's 1,000 protesters and 50 of them are doing this. Does that mean you open fire on any of them at all, let alone all of them?
The protest is over.
The protest is still happening.
The protest, you have to end the protest because you need to get the peaceful protesters out of the way so you can deal with the people who are not peaceful protesters.
But they're happening at the same time. So are you saying that
you end the protest?
Okay.
You do what the police do. This is now
So,
been deemed an unlawful assembly, etc. And anybody who is still out there engaged in that kind of stuff, they need to be arrested. And if they try to
100%.
resist you violently, then you have the right to shoot them.
Okay, and so when the protest is happening and these bad actors are doing, whatever they're doing, or let me take it back a little bit. Do you believe that any of the January 6th instigators, rioters, or wannabe secessionists, or insurrectionists, whatever you want to call them, do you think any of them were FBI agents?
I can't honestly say that
agents.
I can't honestly say that I know. I mean, I know there was claims that they were in there, but from everything I've seen, I haven't seen anything that concrete proves it. Now there could be cover up there, but I'm one of those guys. If I don't see it and know for a fact, I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
Do I think any of those people deserve to get killed? If the Capitol Police has shot every last one of them dead coming in the door of that place when they was trying to break through, I would have had no issue with that. But when I saw the dudes open up the doors and they walking through and shit, I'm kind of like, all right, man. And then when I find out that they refused the additional National Guard support, I say, what the hell is going on with that? But anybody who is disobeying a lawful order, as a police officer, you don't know if these people are busting through windows and stuff. You don't know what they're planning on doing once they come through that door. They're trying to breach the building. The lady who got shot, she shouldn't have had her ass going through that window. I don't feel sorry for her. You got to obey the law. But for me, it goes both ways.
I agree with you. I like your opinion. So I think we're in agreement about that.
One thing people think with me is like, oh, he's going to arbitrarily apply the law. Me personally.
Well, that's what maggots do. So if you call yourself a maggot,
I'm
then
black. I'm black. We have spent our whole lives being forced to obey the law. We are in jail by the millions because they've been telling us that the law must be obeyed no matter what. Why would we get on board with any group that feels like they should be allowed to break the law that we've been basically kind of suffering under for all these years? That's one of the reasons why I'm not okay with illegal immigration. If you're going to let an illegal immigrant come in this country, break the law, and stay here, well, then I want you to release every black man from jail today. Because if one person gets to disregard the law and just do whatever the fuck they want to do, everybody should have that right. And if everybody ain't got that right, nobody should have that right. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think the analogy works, but I do agree about law being applied universally.
Works fine.
The reason I say that is because obviously because not all laws and not all infractions and not all crimes are the same, right? So if you get caught speeding 15 miles an hour over the speed limit on the highway and a cop lets you off, nobody's going to say, oh, well, or you were a white man, whoever it may be, because they let that person off, now everybody in jail needs to be set free. Like nobody's actually going to say that. So like that's what I'm saying. A speeding
ticket,
ticket,
how fast you're going is an infraction. Now, if you're doing reckless endangerment,
what's at 15 over the speed limit?
Okay, if you're 15, that's just an infraction. You're just doing
15. It depends on the state.
Yeah, it depends on the state. In California, I think you got to be doing like 90 or 100.
I think Virginia is like 10, and
right.
North Carolina is 15.
So
I think
if it's where you fall into the realm of reckless endangerment, yes, you need to be arrested. Not walking off. Oh, I'm gonna let you go.
No, I'm not asking what you think should happen. I'm saying that if someone was let go in that situation, it would the average person's not going to go. Nobody's going to think that a logical, let's say conclusion from that is that everybody in jail for any crime should be released, right? Because that's what you imply.
That person shouldn't be let go, though.
We know, but let's say they were let go. If someone saw or heard that they were let go, they wouldn't turn around and say, "Well, since they were let go for going 30 over and nobody was injured, it was a victimless crime by definition." That everybody in jail for any crime whatsoever should be released, right? And that's kind of what you said with the illegal immigration. You said because an illegal immigrant, which is a civil.
No, it's not. No, listen, it ain't no. Listen, listen. Civil and criminal are two different things.
Yeah.
Illegally coming into the country is a criminal act.
Overstaying your visa is a criminal act?
Overstaying your visa is a criminal act.
Okay.
The thing, what makes it a little bit less is you've actually been given access to the country versus someone who's just walking across the border. Vast majority of the people who came in under Biden were not overstaying their visa. A lot of people there were a lot of asylum seekers, and then there were a lot of people who weren't asylum seekers, because asylum was like, if your life is in danger.
Mm-hmm.
When the gang members came, their lives weren't in danger. They were the gang members who were putting the lives of people in danger in those countries. So they weren't really asylum seekers. But Biden did let a lot of people in under the guise of seeking asylum. But he let a lot of people in too who weren't seeking asylum. That was the problem. If only asylum seekers from countries that have been approved came in, we wouldn't have been dealing with this. But they
would have found a way to, talk about it. But yeah, I agree that a lot of the people should. Well, we know they would have, because it's politics, and each side figures out a way to demonize the other side, no matter what it is.
Biden was saying, I can't. That is another thing. This dude was president of the United States, straight lying to our face, saying, I can't deport them legally speaking. He was a liar, because Donald Trump haven't changed one law, and he's deporting them. And then Biden also, towards the end of his first term, when he realized he was really unpopular, he started deporting them. He literally started putting them on planes, getting them out the country.
Well,
that's my issue.
To be clear, this is kind of a side piece now, but there's a couple of laws, or I guess executive orders or whatever, that Trump has gotten rid of or told the State Department to get rid of, that has helped with the deportation. So Biden wouldn't have been lying when he said, I can't do that because it's against the law.
No,
because
he's not. He's still lying, because an executive order is not a law.
Well, it wasn't an executive order, it was State Department. But to be fair, that's also still not a law. But to your point, yeah. I lost my train of thought. I was saying, I don't remember what I was saying. I think Trump deported 250,000 or something like that last year, 500,000, a far cry from the 1 million or 3 million in the first year. So even he is not able to do what he said he was going to do at that point. So that's why I'm saying, Biden, maybe he didn't deport as many as he could have. I don't know. I don't have the deportation numbers, so I don't know how many.
No, Biden didn't deport as many because he didn't have time. When he realized his numbers, he was underwater. He only had less than a year left. He got a lot out, because I remember when he started putting them on planes and they was out there crying and shit. But my ultimate thing is, Trump is really not that bad of a president. He hasn't.
He's a terrible president.
No, he's not. He hasn't.
He's a terrible
Trump's
president.
got a lot of things accomplished in a very short matter of time.
He's done a lot of things that are very gray area-ish, if not blatantly illegal. Citizenship. Trying to say that the executive branch can issue citizenship, that is blatantly unconstitutional.
He didn't say he was going to issue citizenship.
He said $5 million for a citizen. But
that's not him issuing
something even more. He has no authority over citizenship whatsoever. So the executive branch, no, he doesn't. Right. Naturalization, no, he does not. It's literally in the Constitution. We can read the article if you would like. When it comes to birthright citizenship, that executive EO is completely off, completely unconstitutional, and a straight lie. So there's a lot of shit that people can point out that is just terrible and not, what a president should be doing.
What are you talking? But that's what I'm saying. Everything you're saying, these are little tiny things.
It's not a tiny thing to try to redefine citizenship when you don't even have that power.
He's going to the Supreme Court to get the law, to make the law work for the people it was intended to work for.
That's not who the law was intended for. So that's what I'm saying.
The law that you're talking about, birthright citizenship.
It's not a law.
Listen, look, birthright citizenship was something that was done for African Americans.
It was not.
Yes, it was.
Would you like to put money on it? Would you like to put money on it? No, I don't need to listen.
How much money do you want to put on it?
I will put as much money as you want.
Listen,
President,
there were no
Have
Mexicans
you read?
here.
Have you read the? That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Have you read the Congressional Globe during that time? The debates for the 14th and the Civil Rights Act of 1866.
No, I haven't read.
You haven't? Okay, so how would you know what they discussed on the debate floor?
Because I know
I'm just not a got you. I'm asking you just.
No, I'm
you know,
not. I'm really not. But I'm
because
not
I'm going.
I don't
Respectfully,
think
I'm going to.
I don't think
Respectfully, I'm going to educate you about what was discussed.
Listen,
and I mean that respectfully.
What I'm saying is, I base my opinion on it based on the demographics of the country at the time. There was not a large influx of illegal immigrants, or immigrants. Period.
That's not
there
true.
were that birthright citizenship was about slavery.
It was not,
because slaves were not even citizens when they came out of slavery.
I also disagree with that. But
All right.
I know. No, what you're saying, I'm saying I disagree with the Tawney ruling, but that's another story. When it comes to, just to be clear, there was a lot of immigration here. Obviously, it's not going to be like there is today because the total population is different for every country and all that good stuff. There was a huge amount of Chinese in California. There was a huge amount of, or at least a decent population of, I don't know what, when they say gypsies, but they were saying gypsies in the debates, what they mean by gypsies in Pennsylvania. There was a lot of Germans as well.
Okay, I want you to
no,
just,
I'm going to, before you,
I want you to just see this because I just put it in AI.
I understand that.
AI's argument is determination.
I promise you that
I'm going to let you explain. I'm really going to let you explain, but I want people to understand. AI is saying, yes, birthright citizenship was specifically established to grant citizenship to formerly enslaved people and their children through the 14th Amendment in 1868. It reversed the 1857 Dred Scott versus Sanford decision, which held that black people could not be U.S. citizens. The amendment ensured that all persons born or naturalized in the U.S. are citizens. So you now can have the floor to make that a lie or say that's not the case, but this is all the research about this topic compiled, and this is what it say, and this is what Trump says. Now you have the floor to make this not true.
I'm not surprised that that's what Trump would say, because a lot of his administration just goes off of whatever ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever their flavor of AI they like to use is. Are you in law enforcement, or you have someone close to you?
I have family members that are cops.
Okay, yeah. What do you, if you don't mind, what's your profession? Or rather, have you used AI in your profession?
I don't really use it, but
okay. So, all right. If someone has used AI in the profession, they know AI does a lot of stuff wrong. It gives a lot of bad information. Even if you've researched, done some research, it gives bad information or whatever. So when you talk about birthright citizenship, for example, I will say one thing that completely disproves it immediately. President Johnson, when he was given the amendment, he vetoed it, and he said, "I'm vetoing this because it means not only would the previously enslaved, and the children of the previously enslaved now become citizens, but everybody else that's born here would also become a citizen." That's what he said when he vetoed it. Now, to pass a veto, Congress has to pass it over that veto, right? Congress didn't go back, re-debate, and say, "Oh, he's right. Let's make this more specific to only mention the children of previously enslaved and those that were previously enslaved." They just were like, "Yeah, we know," and they passed it anyway. So that's just off rip. It shows that it's wrong. Two, if you want to get deeper into it, you can look at the Congressional Globe. I think it's 39th Congress session 4, I want to say. I can't remember exactly. I believe it was around May 30th or so. I could be, I don't want to give exact dates because I could be misremembering. But they have debates about this extensively. And this topic is brought up. It's like, hey, this isn't only going to impact previously enslaved and the children are previously enslaved. It's also going to impact these other groups of people. And they say, yeah, we understand that. And the people that wrote the amendment said, yeah, we understand that. We understand that we want it. The person from Pennsylvania, I think his name was Senator Cohen. Senator Cohen stands up and he's like, this amendment is not only going to give citizenship to previously enslaved and their children, it's also going to, give citizenship to the children of the Chinese and the children of the Gypsies. And the senator from California, and the Chinese were pretty much only in California at the time in the West Coast. The senator from California stands up and he goes, yeah, we understand that to be true. And I'm doing my part as a representative for the people of the state of California to say, I understand that. And we hold that to be true today. Under California state law, when a Chinese has a child here, that child is a citizen of California, and we recognize that this amendment is just putting that in writing into the Constitution. They also talk about Indians at the time. There was a huge amount of talk about Indians. There was some back and forth about, you know, whether it applies and stuff. That's really the most complicated area because, you know, they're a country within a country at that time and all that good stuff. But throughout the debates, they have pages of debates and days of debates about this. And it's not only about the children and the previously enslaved. Obviously the main impact was the largest populace at the time, which was previously enslaved. And it completely rejected Justice Taney's shitty decision in Dred Scott, which was completely wrong in the first place. I highly recommend everybody read the dissent there because it had it spot on the mark. Black people have always been citizens when they were born here. Obviously not, you know, the freedmen, I should say. Freedmen have always been citizens from the start of the country and the you know, their birth and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's just wrong. And so was the EO. But I wouldn't expect this administration to get something right about that because they don't care. They just care about being performative and the optics of it.
You say that something is hotly debated, but then
what's hotly debated?
This is what I don't get, and I think this is where it's bad faith. You understand that this is something that can be debated. Trump has his opinion on it. He takes it to the Supreme Court. Now, there have been hundreds, if not thousands of people who have held Trump's position, and there have been thousands of people who have held the other position. Why when Trump goes, yes, there has, because it wouldn't have been debated.
What are you?
You said it's been.
What are you talking about,
bro? You literally sat up here and said that shit has been debated.
It was debated when they were making the amendment.
I'm literally reading as you're talking.
I'm confused about what you're saying when you say
you didn't let me finish. That's why.
Because I'm trying to figure out which time period you're talking about.
It was debated in its original time, and it's even there are a lot of exceptions in the 14th Amendment, and it is technically still debated down into this day. People have a different opinion on it. So Trump takes it to the Supreme Court. You're like angry at Trump because he's using the resources that are allotted to him, that are available to him, to kind of shape the country in the way he sees fit. That's the power you have as the president. But we also have checks on that power to make sure you don't shape it in a way that is unconstitutional. Why are we so angry at Trump just for being a president and like being a leader and like taking action on a situation? Because my question to you is, how does letting Mexicans come over here and drop babies and Nigerians and stuff drop babies at will to make them anchor babies? How does that benefit you?
It doesn't matter whether it benefits me. It matters about
whether
it
does. As an American, it does.
You asked the question. You asked the question, right?
No, listen. When I asked the question, you said it doesn't matter. That totally dismisses my question.
It doesn't, because I'm still answering.
No, you're saying
if you don't want me, all right, would you like me to here? How about this? Would you like me to finish my answer?
I would like you to not dismiss my question in the.
I'm not dismissing. I'm answering. Okay, well, I'll reverse it. I'll just add that at the end then.
Yeah, how does it benefit you?
What matters is whether it's constitutional. So if something is constitutional and it doesn't benefit me, that doesn't change the fact that it is constitutional, right? Like
But I'm saying it because we could change the Constitution. So I'm asking you, how does illegal immigrants coming over here illegally, then dropping kids and being like, oh, because this is my kid, I can stay here. How does that benefit Americans and American children?
Is it still working?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, my shit just went black. But 1 second.
Yeah, I kind of that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Again, it's I don't know what I was saying before I stopped talking.
You said it doesn't matter if it benefits
the Constitution. Yeah. So what matters is the constitutionality of something. Now, if something is constitutional, then it's constitutional. That you don't get to say, well, I don't like it, therefore it shouldn't be allowed to happen. That's not how the Constitution works. If you don't,
because you could amend the Constitution if you don't.
And that's that's 100%, and that's what I'm getting to next. If you don't like something, then the argument is not whether it's constitutional anymore. It's whether there should be an amendment to the Constitution to stop these things from happening.
And isn't that
but it is no, that's not what's happening right now, because
that's exactly what Trump is doing.
That's not what he's doing. That's why he's taking this. The Supreme Court doesn't make amendments. That's why he's taking
the
this.
Supreme Court rules something to be constitutional or not constitutional, And if he doesn't get their ruling, then he can take it to Congress and be like, hey, we could amend this.
And that if that were the case, if that's what he was trying to do, it's backwards. That's not how it should be done. The reason that people go to the Supreme Court is because if they have their flavor of R or D next to their name on their Supreme Court, if they own the Supreme Court, they have more favor of getting that. I have an issue with courts. I'm not a big, let's take the constitutionality to the court and only they get to decide the constitutionality. When the country founded, that's not how it was. And I think there's a strong debate about whether that should be the case or not. For example, if I'm not mistaken, the Alien and Sedition Acts, they didn't go to the Supreme Court. It was passed through Congress, and then George Washington signed them, or John Adams signed them, whichever. And the Supreme Court never really heard them.
Yeah, because why would you need to? Why, bro? A law, bro. Listen.
The point I'm making. Well, I got on a tangent. My bad. But the point I was making was that would be backwards. You should be going to Congress to make the amendment if you think that is wrong. You shouldn't be going to the courts to get them to read into the amendment something that's not there, but because they are of your favor, they're going to read into the amendment. That's one. Two, we know from the debates that it wasn't only the children of the enslaved. We know that for a fact. So to say that in the executive order means you are wrong. And I expect the president.
That was the intention of it.
That wasn't the intention. We know that because
if you had a situation with a slave, Dred Scott, who was a landmark case, when you talk about amending something, you know that case is the reason for the amendment, bro. You can't be like, it wasn't for that, but then the case with this black slave literally led directly to the amendment being done. You can't be like it. And then on top of that, Trump is going through the process. Something has to be passed into law for it to be ruled unconstitutional. If the Supreme Court doesn't catch it before it's passed into law, it's deemed constitutional. Then people can take that law and say, hey, I want you guys to look over this law and tell me when you look over it, is this constitutional? You don't see the Supreme Court jumping in during votes in the Congress saying, hey, by the way, that's unconstitutional. You don't see that. Usually it is passed or vetoed, but if it is passed, then the people who don't agree with it, they then submit it to the Supreme Court, because if it's not a law, what's the purpose of submitting it to the Supreme Court? I mean, if it's not a law yet. The Supreme Court rules on things that have been codified into law already, and then they re-examine the law to see if a mistake was made by the Congress when they voted this and the president signed it into law. But I looked it up when you said, "Oh, the Constitution is not meant to benefit the American people." It says the major.
I didn't say that.
You were like, "It doesn't matter if it benefits me." And I'm saying,
no, I said if something is constitutional, it's irrelevant whether it benefits me. It's still constitutional.
But it's not irrelevant, because if something,
it is.
No, it's not, because the Constitution.
Does women voting benefit me?
Wait a minute. Let me finish. It is, and it whether it benefits you or not does matter, because if it doesn't benefit you, you then have the ability to challenge the law. You can take something to yourself and take it up to the Supreme Court and be like, hey, this hurts me, or this. I don't like this. I think this is unnecessary. They're not going to say we're not going to hear it because it doesn't matter. That's a subjective thing, the benefit of it, right? Like, I mean, a objective thing. Does it benefit you or not? So women having the right to vote doesn't benefit you, but then again, it might. If you're a politician, or if you're somebody who has a party and you want that party to have more supporters, yes, it benefits you. Or if women tend to vote against a certain party, guess what? Women having the right to vote can hurt you. So you can go and take that to the Supreme Court.
No, you can't.
Depending on, you could if you wanted to. You could.
You couldn't.
You could. Yes, you can. You could take any law to the Supreme Court.
You can't. Supreme Court has to accept it.
Exactly. Whether
and,
you can.
There's also three.
What do you have to do? What do you have to do for them to decide?
3 things to have standing, I think.
Listen, what do you have to do to decide whether or not they're going to accept it or not?
I can't do anything. They decide.
You have to petition the court. You have to say, hey, I want you to rule on this.
You can't just immediately petition the Supreme Court. It goes to the local.
I understand that.
It doesn't seem, because you're not, you have, there's a reason that you'll never see a case before the Supreme Court saying women shouldn't be able to vote because it negatively impacts my political campaign.
you can take this to court if you want to. The judge rules on whether they're going to hear it or not. You still could take it and petition the court to look at it.
That's not going to the Supreme Court. All right, well,
It
how much
doesn't, bro. Oh my God.
How much time do you have
I don't listen.
left?
What I'm
I
telling
don't know how long you do shows.
I mean, I have time, but what I'm saying is, I'm telling you, anyone could try to bring anything before court.
I agree. You can try to do whatever you want in America.
They have a saying: you can indict a ham sandwich if you want to.
Yeah.
But all I'm telling you is, obviously, we know no judge is gonna even hear that. But if someone wasn't happy, they could try, and someone can make an argument. You know, people used to think that when they talked about praying in schools, there was a time when people was like, "Ain't no judge gonna rule on that shit." But then, guess what? People took it before courts. It moved up the ladder, and it got before the Supreme Court.
Okay, and so you bring up all right. So the reason that can change is because
anything can change.
Okay, that's fine.
Anything
that you believe
can
so.
change.
That's fine that you believe so.
I know so.
The freedom of religion, separation of church and state, very abstract concepts. You know, what someone finds to be separation might not be what someone else finds. You know, freedom. You know, whatever that case may be. Women have the right to vote. There is no abstract. It's very plain text. You read it. It says women have the right to vote. You can't. There's no challenging that. Women have the right to vote. It's constitutional. It doesn't matter whether it negatively impacts your campaign or not. You don't have that's not. Those aren't the same thing. That's why those things would change and the women can vote wouldn't. But to go back to the Justice Taney thing, and this is a reason why I'm not a fan of going by just what the Supreme Court says. Justice Taney's decision was terrible. It's one of the worst Supreme Court decisions of all time. And
to you.
So no, this is in the legal field.
No, but that's to you. There's
people it's just not.
Bro,
no,
it's
people,
not. Listen, bro. There's always someone.
I let you get your shit off. Can I get my shit off?
Yeah, but you're saying that it's the worst. But I'm telling you, there's people who don't feel that. There were people who didn't feel that way.
I agree. There were people. I agree, and they weren't They didn't know history, and they were racist most likely, just like Justice Taney. I agree with you. But when we're talking about 2026 and we're talking about what we know now, 100 and some odd years later, and the history that comes with it and all the research done since then, it's pretty much unanimous that there's it's either Dred Scott or there's one other one that people all say is really, really bad. I can't remember right now. Maybe Slaughterhouse, which was also a 14th Amendment case, but regardless, I had brought up, I don't remember, but I brought it up for a reason. Getting back to it though, as a president, I expect you to know more or have advisors around you that know more. And so when the president comes forth with the EO and it says, well, they only passed this and it was only supposed to impact these people. And then we go look at the debates and it says, no, it's not only supposed to impact these people. It's supposed to impact all these other people as well. We know the EO is either blatantly lying to you or just blatantly false. And I don't expect the president, I don't think anybody should expect the president to be giving out false information. I think they should be given the best information possible. And that's just is what it is. And some people are more lax about it. You obviously are more lax because Trump is doing it. I don't think you would be as lax if it was someone else. I'm not lax if anybody does it. I like people to say what they mean and mean what they say. And I like for my leaders to know more than me.
Listen, man, your issues with Trump are minimal. They're
it's not minimal. That's a huge issue.
No, these are not huge issues.
Have you ever heard of power creep?
No, what is that?
Power creep is essentially you give them an inch and they get it. Yeah, you never heard power creep?
Yeah.
Oh, were you being sarcastic?
No, I'm saying you're okay. Go ahead.
Oh, so you talk about power creep or whatever. It don't matter. So power creep is essentially, you give them a little bit of power, then more power, so on and so forth, and it just keeps on happening. And so when you look at it, if you look at the historical, separation of powers and checks and balances of three branches, we see certain branches getting stronger, certain branches getting weaker. So, one thing isn't a huge deal. Then another thing happens. Well, that's not a huge deal because it's just this one thing. And another thing happens. And then it becomes a tradition, essentially. And it becomes something that people believe is inherently in the executive branches, for example, right to do. Executive orders is a perfect example. That you now have presidents issuing executive orders as if it's a law. That should not be happening. But that wasn't a thing back when the country was first founded. I think that, Thomas Jefferson issued, I think, the first couple of executive orders. He signed an executive order, I think, for Louisiana Purchase. He debated about it. He wrote to people about it. Hey, do I have the authority to do this, X, Y, and Z? and then it was done, and now it's just a normal thing that, it became a normal thing for presidents to use executive orders. And then whoever it was, Woodrow Wilson or whoever, used 1,000 of them or whatever, and now it's just a normal thing for presidents to be using all these executive orders as if they are the legislative branch. And that's the issue with power creep. Or an example of it.
My thing is, like, with executive orders, when you have, such partisanship, it's like you won't get anything done if you don't use an executive order. And the beauty of it is,
that's a feature.
The next president can come and just get rid of all your executive orders, so there's no permanence to the situation, and that is good because that's a check and a balance. And this country is based on checks and balances. The fact that you vote against Trump and vote for Biden, who did you vote for? Do you mind telling me who you voted for?
Hillary, Biden, Harris.
Yeah, so you're just Democrat all down the line.
No, because I voted red and more local and state elections. Yeah.
Yeah, but presidential, general, you're blue.
Well, yeah. Well, if the Republicans had put someone other than Trump, then maybe they could have got my vote.
There's no way a person can tell me they voted for Hillary Clinton and tell me that they are truly looking at things straight down the middle, calling ball. Not Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and telling me they're looking at things straight down the middle, calling balls and strikes.
Yeah, you can.
There's no way. You could listen to Kamala Harris for 2 minutes, and you could tell that woman did not know what the hell she was talking about or doing. And I'll give Kamala the grace. I believe that Kamala Harris is an intelligent woman, but I think there's something going on with her cognitively. I think she might be slipping into like a dementia or something like that. Because just when you would listen to this lady talk, bro, and 99% of America saw this, there was something going on with her that was not right. The woman lost in a landslide because people deemed her to be unfit to be president, bro. She literally.
What does that got to do with it? It seems like you just kind of going on a rant about
Kamala
Harris.
Going on it. No. What I'm going on is you are looking at Trump and you're saying, hey, if they had picked anybody but Trump.
I didn't say anybody but.
So you did. You
no,
just
I said maybe. I said
Go
maybe
ahead.
if they had picked someone other than Trump, they could have got my vote.
That's but Trump.
That doesn't mean any. No, there's plenty of other people that could have ran on the Republican card that wouldn't have got my vote.
There were other candidates in the presidential race.
No, there wasn't.
Yes, there were. There was Jill Stein. I think she ran again. There was
come on, let's Miss Jill Stein that didn't even know how many House members there are. Like, come on, let's be real.
She doesn't know how many House members there are, but
she's in the House. I mean, she's isn't she a senator or a representative? It don't matter.
Doesn't even know either. That's the sad part, bro.
I expect someone in Congress to know how many co-workers they have more than I do anybody else.
Listen, what I'm saying is this woman proved time and time again on TV that something was going on with her.
But I guess I'm confused because this is coming from someone that voted for Trump, and I'm not here to bash either one of their.
But Trump. This is the difference. Trump has already been president. So even if you don't like what Trump's saying, and you know that Trump can get us through 4 years without destroying the country.
No, I think that are you a one issue voter?
I'm not a single issue voter.
Okay, single issue, but there's plenty of people that are, right? Abortion is a huge one, obviously.
Yeah, abortion, all that.
Yeah, I'm a one issue voter. I have a single issue vote, and that is that if I feel like you will not give up your seat of power when you're voted out by the people, then I will not vote for you.
Please stop.
And so I will not vote for anybody.
How do you feel like that about Trump? Because he sure as hell gave up his seat of power.
Because he tried to stay in power his first term.
He gave up his seat of power at the end of the day.
Yeah, he gave up his seat of power after the vice president said, "Hey, we can't do that." After he tried to convince the Georgia state of secretary to turn to quote unquote find votes. He gave it up after the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff threatened to resign. He gave it up after his secretary of DOJ threatened to resign, and then the one that he was going to pick after him also said, "No, I'm not going to do that." He eventually gave it up when he saw the walls had closed in. He could do nothing else. and then he never conceded. But that's beside the point. That's beside the point. You have your opinion about it. I'm telling you, I'm a single issue vote on that, and it doesn't matter who it is.
You could say single issue all you want to. The reality is, Biden was sworn in.
I would have voted for you over Trump. I would have voted for anybody in the chat. Well, I don't,
Why
assuming
wouldn't you? I would make a better president than Trump.
I think anybody that is willing to give up the seat of power and not say like, oh, I'm not giving up because it was X, Y, and Z. I think they would be a better person in that seat.
Won't do something when they did it, bro. Like that's my thing.
You can because he did not willingly do it. He fought against it. He tried to do his best not to do it, and that's what it is. It doesn't matter. You can try to sugarcoat it. You can do whatever you want.
I'm not sugarcoating it.
You are sugarcoating it because you're ignoring the fact that everybody else told him no, and that's the only time he gave up the seat.
I'm not ignoring anything. I'm going straight based on fact.
It's not. It's very much. It's going straight on facts and no nuance.
You said Trump will not.
He would if he could stay. He would if he could stay in that seat.
But he can't.
Why can't he?
Because
he does not have the same. He does not have the same people around him this time. The people around him in the first term had integrity.
You're being.
You think the people around him have integrity?
This is TDS, bro.
Do you think the people around him have integrity?
The people around him before had integrity.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
These people.
That's why he got forced out the seat.
Is going to put their political career on the line.
Here, how about this?
Trump stay in power, bro.
If I was having a house party, right, and I said, and then you came and you stopped by my house and you was at the party and I told you to leave and you said no, are you leaving willingly?
No, I'm
okay.
refusing to leave.
Exactly. And so when the people voted him out and he said, no, these votes are rigged. They don't count. It's rigged. Stop the count. Hey, Georgia, find more votes because those are the amount of votes I need to win. Is that leaving? And then saying, hold on, putting sending false electors to certify. That is a fact. He did do that.
Stop it.
What do you mean stop? This is what I mean by sugar. This is the issue with people with TDS is that you guys.
You have TDS.
I don't have TDS because there's plenty of stuff
because
there's plenty of stuff that I can say, hey, Trump did a good job on this, or I'm not going to blame Trump for that. For example, people like, can I say COVID?
COVID, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So people like to rag on Trump about that. Personally, I wish that he would have done more, a little bit quicker with the War Production Act. But it's like, bro, it's a once in a lifetime, it's a once in a century thing. I'm not going to hold it against him. People love to hold that against him. I don't think he did a terrible job with it. I don't think red states did a terrible job with it. I don't think blue states did. I thought it was I'm not saying this lightly. It was a cool thing to see the different states try different methods to combat something that was once in a lifetime. When it comes to immigration, I agree with the stay in Mexico policy. I think that is what should be happening. So I'm happy with that. There's plenty of stuff I can bring up that Trump has said or did that I agree with. So when it comes to TDS, and it seems like Trump fans like to say this because maybe they're just used to talking to leftists or whatever the case may be. But there's plenty of people out here who don't have TDS and who just think that when you say I'm not going to give up my seat of power and you have to essentially be forced out of that seat, that you are no longer fit to be president. And I'm one of those people.
Man, listen.
There's no reason any president should be calling a state secretary and saying, find me this amount of votes because I need that to win. That's disqualifying for me. You cannot. That's not just presidency either. That's for any election whatsoever. You should not be trying to manipulate votes for you to win. And that doesn't matter whether you're president, Democrat, Libertarian, Republican, whoever it is, wherever they are, they will not get my vote.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't think Trump. As long as when January 21st or whatever comes around, that other person's able to be sworn in and you help with the transition and all that, you're good. You know, I think like he tried to do this and he tried to do that, man, that stuff is like, bro, that's to me, that's someone's opinion. I think Trump thought he thought some fraud was happening and he went to the people he thought could do something about it. Beyond that, so
there's been a lot of elections where weird things have happened, and none of them did what he did, and there's been a lot of elections where presidents were in that seat and weird shit happened, and they didn't say I'm not giving up this seat. They didn't say, hey, go put some false electors and get my name in. They didn't call the secretaries of states and say, hey, find me this many votes. You didn't have to have the vice president and all these other people threatened to, I guess the vice president threatened to resign, but all these other people threatened to resign. So when I look at his attitude, his manner, his demeanor versus other presidents, that again solidifies the fact that he is not a presidential material.
Listen, man, I just think that as long as Trump was out of there by January 1st, that's January 21st. That's what matters. The stuff, it's just, to me, it's like people say a lot of stuff, but that stuff to me doesn't matter. I care about like how you run the country, and if you do a good job. And I just think Trump did a good job. I like the way he handled COVID. I like the fact that he gave people a choice whether they wanted to take the vaccine or not. That's what it was about for me. Whereas Biden made it seem like more of a you have to or you're gonna lose your job. Like my boss tried to come with that shit. You gotta take it or you're gonna lose your job. And what I realized was he was parroting the shit Biden said. And I told him, fuck you, you can't fire me.
So you feel like it was like a political thing. He was like, he was just towing the line.
He handled that as president.
No, I'm talking about your boss.
Yeah.
You're saying like you just feel like you're okay. Yeah.
He's
no, I feel you.
Democrat.
Like
he watches the show, but
yeah. He's on. He's watching. He watches the show.
This shit all the time.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, I think that, like I said, I that was a once in a century thing. I don't agree with necessarily. To be honest, I think when it first happened, I don't know if I would hold the same opinion now. But when it first happened, I felt like we should have put all old people in hotels, and everybody else should have been able to live their life. And gave the old people vaccines, because that was really, and people that would, and maybe children.
I'm looking up this fake electors thing. Did Trump get found guilty of this? Because I see it went to court.
No, it's usually when things happen with Trump, it's the people around him, and it just so happens not to,
So you're saying that Trump did something that he was found not guilty of in court?
I think those people wouldn't have done that if Trump wasn't doing what he was doing and saying what he was saying.
He was found not guilty.
He wasn't found not guilty because he wasn't on trial for it.
Exactly. The judge threw it out. The judge just threw it out. I'm looking at it right now. They threw it out.
Yeah, he wasn't on. He wasn't on trial for it.
So you're saying they tried to bring him to trial for it.
I didn't even know they tried to bring. I don't know why they would try to bring him to trial for it. Maybe they said that he had some connection, or he was talking to him or whatever. I'm not sure.
So how do you have proof? So what proof do you have that he sent these fake electors?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they did. So if sat
up here like you had some. Oh, it's because the fake electors. You have practice.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Practice. We're talking about practice.
I just said that. I used that line yesterday on him. My wife asked me to take her to practice.
You got to,
practice.
man.
We talking about practice?
As soon as you hear about practice, it's like you got to say it. It's like there's no other, no other choice.
You automatically have to say that, man.
Yeah.
Shut up, Alan. Alan over here bashing my dog Trump.
I actually think Trump is not doing a terrible job not doing a terrible job against our adversaries. I will say he's not doing a terrible job against our adversaries. He's not doing a great job. He's doing a terrible job with our allies.
With something that politicians have been kicking down the road that should have been dealt with. I would have supported Biden if he would have bombed Iran.
I wouldn't have.
I would have, as long as he kept going, until we got, because bro, there was no reason to let somebody who does what they do.
I'm all for, I'm an interventionist, so I'm pro, ensuring. I think he's talking about the case that I'm talking about, which was the talking to the Secretary of State, and the one that Fannie Willis or whatever her name is, messed up, just like she messed up. Oh, she's trash. Well, she's trash. Did you watch the Young Thug trial?
Dude,
yeah. Anyway,
she's terrible. She was sleeping with.
Yeah, she is terrible. Yeah, she's terrible. Yeah, the foreign policy, against at least a few of our adversaries, has been decent. They definitely shouldn't have stopped supporting Ukraine. His little love thing with Russia is weird. I think he
doesn't see Russia as an enemy.
I think I thought, and I still think mostly, that their idea, which there as in his whole circles, or most of his circles idea anyway, is to get Russia on the side against China, and they're not doing a good job with that. And they don't like that. They feel like the more that Russia stays in Ukraine, the less likely they are to stay neutral or provide less support to China in the event of a hot conflict. But it's geopolitics is a tough game. So
Russia is going to align with the United States against
no, they
China.
won't.
Yes, they
won't.
Well,
they're not doing it right now,
bro. Listen, this is what people don't real accept. No one's against anybody. China is
Yes,
number one trade partners with the United States, bro. That's like having a fight with your brother. Yes, it is, because you make billions, they make billions off of you, and you get cheap crap from them. And there is nobody on earth right now who is going to be able to pollute as much as China to create all the shit that America wants to buy, wants to create over there. They're fake enemies, bro. If they were
who do you think Ukraine's number one trading partner was before Russia invaded?
Ukraine's number one trading partner was Russia.
And they still invaded, correct?
Yes, but why did they invade? Because they did. Because that's
before you speak. Do not spew Russian propaganda to me.
That is a matter of national interest or safety or whatever.
And is Taiwan a matter of national interest for the U.S.?
Hell no.
No.
Taiwan. Well, it is because of the chips.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So.
But
let's follow. Hold on. Let's follow that.
Let's commend Biden. He did the Chips Act. That's starting to move.
Well, and then it got removed by yours truly.
Nah, he didn't.
Yeah, he kind of started nullifying certain things and getting rid of some things. You might want to double check on that.
Supporter of that.
Oh, you think so?
Moving chip production. Yes.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Chips Act, not the chip production. We're talking about the Chips Act. What did Trump do to the Chips Act? What did he do to the Chips Act since he's been in office? Ask Gemini that. Ask Gemini. We don't have to get into it. I was just asking if Taiwan is a national security, or national interest thing for the U.S. And if so, then that means that could be a hot conflict situation with China, because obviously China is dead set on this one party or one country rule, or one country whatever it's called. I'm trying to think of reunification, essentially.
Well, he preferred to use tariffs.
Yeah, he prefers to use tariffs, which are also unconstitutional.
I disagree with this. Now, this is something Trump is doing that I disagree with, because Trump, I see what he's trying to do, and I don't agree with him.
You see him failing?
I don't know if it'll end up failing, but I don't agree with it because it's too sensitive of an issue to leave up to the free market. You see what I'm saying?
No.
Yes, because
I'm a free market guy.
Biden was free market, yes, but when you didn't let yourself get so far behind,
what are we behind on?
Because China already controls so much of the production. So Biden wanted to use subsidies to incentivize companies to bring their chip manufacturing onto domestic back
soil.
home.
Yeah. Or at least, at least in Western
Trump's
civilization.
like, let's use tariffs, right? But the thing with tariffs is, what happened where the Supreme Court ruled a bunch of tariffs.
Yeah, because it's unconstitutional. Yeah.
So
as per a lot of what Trump tries, but continue.
I don't agree with the Supreme Court on that.
You don't agree.
Fuck the Supreme Court.
Yeah, all right, man.
Yeah, fuck them. But what I'm saying is, I'm not just a hardcore fuck you. No, I see the wisdom in what Biden did with that, because when you're far behind like we are to China, you got to use what you got, which is money, to incentivize people to bring that production back home.
But I think a price floor would have been better if you. Oh well, I'm sorry, I'm talking about metals. But when it comes to what am I trying to say? Or chips. Yeah, we a couple administrations back, we should have been doing a little bit better. But at that time, Intel had the best chips, so it maybe wasn't on the radar. But it is what it is at this point.
I think I got an Intel on this thing. I got an Intel V Pro.
And Intel's not too terrible. They just, comparatively, Taiwan. Me? Nah, man. I'm not hating on Intel. They just
Intel is powering this
better now. Right now. They're doing. Yeah, they are sponsored. No, but they're doing better now.
Nvidia is Nvidia Jack Ma?
No.
Who made Nvidia?
Jack Ma is Alibaba. Well, was Alibaba until they disappeared him because he criticized the government, and then he came back, and now he's not really been talking. But Nvidia is Jack Henson or something like that.
That's an American company?
Yes, but they don't make CPUs.
No, they make only chips, graphic cards.
They make GPUs.
GPUs, yeah. Graphic
Yeah.
cards, right? Ain't that what a graphic card is?
Yeah, but chips are CPUs.
Nigga, I didn't say
I know you started talking about NVIDIA, so I thought you were saying like, well, we have NVIDIA. So whatever, it don't matter.
Hey, look, man, I'm learning about computers now.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got NVIDIA is the easily makes the best graphics card, super expensive though.
Your shit ain't shit, basically.
AMD has some decent ones. Intel
AMD's
actually started coming out with some. Their ARC stuff is
But
graphics.
if you want reliable,
Intel's doing better, man. I'm excited for Intel's graphics card because it'll help with the market. Right now, it's just NVIDIA, maybe AMD if you want to take a chance. But 90% of graphics cards are NVIDIA.
hey, they're so innovative.
For consumer computers.
Let me tell you, if your laptop has an NVIDIA chip in it, that bitch going up by $1,000 in price off rip. Cause I was buying a laptop, and I noticed when it said NVIDIA chip, the price shot up like $600 to $1,000. Everything was like, you see shit for like 4, 3, 5, whatever. Oh, NVIDIA chip, put $1,000 on top of that. I was like, yeah, they the shit. They running the game. But Albert is right. Tariffs are not unconstitutional. Who can implement the tariffs is what is the.
Yeah, we obviously know tariffs are not unconstitutional. We know they come on. Like people got to keep up with the conversation,
internet, bro. You're on the internet. Some people don't know, bro. Some people don't know.
But he's saying that I was saying that they're unconstitutional. No, we are obviously talking about in the context of Trump
you did say
doing
tariffs
them.
are unconstitutional. So
And what was the context of the conversation?
For the sake of being
yeah.
For the sake
We're
of
talking
just
about
making
Trump.
you look bad, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. I'll take it.
But man, hey, thank you for coming up. Anytime. You need to come up more often.
I hit you with a subscribe.
But you know what's good? Because I don't know if you saw earlier, I cooked this white lady bad on the abortion topic.
I think I came right. Well, we could have talked about abortion. I definitely support abortion,
Bro,
but
I cooked this lady, bro. She was like, if somebody could do slow pitch abortion baseball, she was that person. But I cooked her on that. But my audience is kind of new. I got a lot of new people in here. So like, because I used to have like 300 people watching every episode, but then I started going kind of on like a more political arc, and they were like, "Fuck you, you're not black." I don't care. But no. But so now people kind of see like, no, this guy. I'm not just a fluffer, just talking about shit. Oh, he doesn't know about anything. He's just up here talking. No, I actually know shit. Like I do read. Now what I don't know, hey, I can look at Gemini, to fill in the gaps. But that's what everyone should be doing. And as long as when you cut this motherfucker off, you actually go say, let me read up on that. Like right now, I gotta finish my Scott Jennings book, so I'm gonna go to my daughter's volleyball practice
and read that
right now. And finish that. That's a good book, by the way. But I'm reading it right now. But it's like people don't put no time, like no like extra hours in when they like off the computer, and then that's why they can't speak freely on stuff because the computer is like a crutch. If you could always
and the echo chambers and stuff.
Yeah, you want to have some original. That's content. Like right now, what we made, this is content, not me just reacting to a video. And that's what people really want. They want new content, not reactions like that.
Yeah, I think people love discussions, especially if it's opposing viewpoints, and even better if people are educated. Like, I would love to. If I wish I could find like a podcast where they sit down and take questions or something, like a whole bunch of PhDs or something like that are like really versed. People that have maybe worked at the UN or worked in administrations that are like talking about this shit. I would love to just pick their brain about certain things.
Yeah,
but
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, my man.
Real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
You got Scotty. Wait, first of all, in the order: Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. What's your order?
Kobe. What you mean?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna be back. That's my boy right there. I got Kobe, LeBron, Jordan.
Anybody who looks at basketball objectively, it has to be Kobe. I mean, they say he's the evolution of Jordan.
And they say Jordan was the GOAT. So
Jordan, ain't nobody stopping his turnaround jump shot. Ain't nobody stopping Jordan. Jordan is unstoppable. But at the same time, Kobe had a better skill set. Like
100%.
Kobe had certain gifts that Jordan didn't need in the era that he played in.
Yeah,
Kobe was going against dogs, man. Like,
come on now,
man. He was going against dogs.
Come on, man. Talk to him. They not listening. They're not listening.
AI. I think of all Hall of Famers, dude. Tim Duncan,
KG, Dirk,
bro,
Shaq, even.
Listen, you would feel goosebumps during the NBA playoffs, and you would be sick. Like, damn, we gotta play the Spurs. When you start thinking about, when you start praying motherfuckers on the other team get hurt, so your team could get through easier, you know you in the game. It's like when the Warriors was going up against like the Cavs with LeBron or some shit. But even though I thought the Warriors just lost that because some stupid calls, you never get that feeling from LeBron. You kind of know when LeBron gets in, you're kind of like, he gonna win or he gonna lose. You know he gonna win or lose before. But with Kobe and them, the Sacramento Kings were a contender, bro. Like, that's how strong the league was.
Hey,
Sacramento Kings.
Kobe went up against so many 50-win teams. I don't mean to hold you. I know we'll do this conversation another time. Yeah. I'm just asking everybody because I keep on seeing, this newfound like disrespect to Kobe is grinding my gears when I'm on Instagram and people are putting them, outside of top 10s and saying I just saw something today. It was like Sports Illustrated or something came out with the top pure scores, and Kobe's like number 13 or something crazy on the list. Like, bro, they had Joel Embiid number 3.
It's because Joel Embiid. Oh,
bro, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you know who drives that? The analysts. They hate
exactly.
on Kobe.
They hate. Yeah.
They hate on Kobe because he wouldn't give him interviews and stuff when they was younger, and so they heard him posthumously. But I'm telling you right now, 2002 Kobe was unstoppable.
Oh, come on now.
When he put on the extra weight and he was dunking on everybody.
Bro, I think he might be the best in-game dunker of all time. I'm not gonna lie. I can't think of anybody that has more posters against people that you shouldn't be able to poster. Like, bro, but yeah,
this man, when he put that weight on, he was unstoppable. Bro had to lose weight because he said it was making his knees start to hurt. But if Kobe would have been able to stay at that weight, bro, nobody could have stopped him, bro. He was so yoked, man. Just the fact that he was playing against people like T-Mac, and T-Mac had like every skill set. He had
and taller too.
Everybody who Kobe dominated was on paper supposed to be 10 times better than Kobe. He was just all work. And bro, Jordan cried at this man's funeral, bro. That tell you everything you need to know. Man, Jordan don't even show emotion, bro. Jordan will tell a little kid, "Fuck you." He'll be like, if I miss this shot, I get y'all Jordans, and make the shot on purpose so you don't gotta give him nothing.
What is it called? Make a wish. He went 50 Make a Wish kids, and he said, "Yeah, if I miss this shot, y'all get some shoes." He makes that. That's crazy.
If I make this shot, y'all gonna be able to walk again.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Nothing but net. On God though. But yeah, man. So Kobe. It's look, the reason why they hate, because even every player in the NBA agree Kobe was the GOAT. He's the best.
Amen.
Like, if the people who played against him. So his position will be solidified. When Magic Johnson tell you the best Laker ever, that already put you in the top 3. Understand that. When Magic Johnson say the best Laker ever is Kobe while you still alive, that means you're in the top 3 of the NBA, because the top 5 players, I feel
you could probably make a top 5 out of the Lakers. You got it don't matter anyway,
bro. Yeah, you could make a top 5 grade. The only one really, Kobe and Magic, they gotta be in the top 5 in my opinion. Jabbar, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was very good, but he was a bitch to Moses Malone, bro. Like, times when I felt like he really should have went hard, because I'd be watching all those old games. Not that I was I was a little kid, very tiny back then. But, bro, come on, man. You can't let Moses Malone come and just punk your ass up out of the damn the arena, the forum, like how he was doing. But, no, Kobe and Magic is there. Jordan is there. The person I don't put there is LeBron. I just feel like LeBron's just like
you're tripping, bro.
Nah, man. LeBron, for me, he's outside of the top 5, bro. Because he's out of the top 5 for me. Because LeBron, I did not get the intense desire to win. I feel like LeBron wanted it to be like kind of easy, or he didn't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Like KD,
maybe when he first came into the league, he had the hunger, but I think all those years with the Cavs in the beginning, I think that kind of killed his motivation, because I think he was like, man, I didn't carry the team for 10 years, and we didn't get shit. And so when he got to the point where somebody could kind of carry him, he was like, well, I'm gonna let them carry me the way I was carrying that team. That's not his fault. But LeBron, come on, man. The stuff you never caught Kobe taking a playoff. You never caught Jordan not getting back on defense.
Kobe did. I know you gotta go, so I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
How does any of this benefit black? What do you mean? How does any of this benefit black folks, man? We over here talking about the GOATs, man. That's how it benefits. But
you gonna bring up the
against the Suns, 3-1. So I mean, you know that is a blemish because I love Kobe. And to your point about Brown not wanting it. Pause. I think that I didn't put him in the same category until when Kyrie left Cleveland and he was carrying Cleveland to the playoffs and finals. I feel like that was when I saw LeBron doing stuff that put him in the echelon.
What you mean, carrying? So, he had Kevin Love, bro. Had Hall of Famers.
When Kyrie left, he had shit on that team.
He had Kevin Love.
And that's it. And Kevin Love was old.
Bro, hell no. Kevin Love. Man, Kevin Love was putting up numbers, bro.
Come on, sir.
Bro had 2 Hall of Famers. He had Kevin Love and who else?
Nobody. What are you talking about? 2 Hall of Famers.
I feel like he had 2 Hall of Famers.
Kyrie was gone.
Oh, you're right. When they beat the Warriors, yeah, Kyrie was there. Damn, that was crazy when Kyrie.
That's what I'm saying. When Kyrie
was the best
left,
player on that team, bro. They dogged.
All
Kyrie.
right, see, man, now
they
you
killed
tripping again,
Kyrie's
bro.
career, man. Hey, man, look, I'll tell you this. You're never gonna catch Kobe taking plays off. You're never gonna catch with the Phoenix thing. Kobe was trying to prove a point because they was trying to play my boy.
I know, and
so
he was,
I get that.
I know. But it's still 3-1. Like you gotta, and they were underdogs even going in.
Weren't they up 3-1?
Yeah, that's what. No,
and then Kobe stopped playing.
The Lakers was up 3-1, you know. So, but yeah, I know you gotta get to it. So I hope everything, you know, hope the practice is good and all that good stuff. Oh, you don't gotta leave yet?
No, I'm saying I'm about to
yeah. So I hope everything goes well. Oh yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Hours.
Yeah, you've been out here for a minute. Hey, you too.
Hey, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate everything y'all do for me in this channel. Till the next time, peace out, my people.